if you write, when you write to that company, you write to the director. So find out the director of that company.
Some of these companies haven't got directors, or you have to search for the name. I think Companies Check is a good one.
Yeah, well, I mean, like if you just go on Companies House or Companies Check, as Leslie pointed out, yeah, just go on there, find out who the directors are, and then write to the director themselves.
Some of them are actually on LinkedIn as well. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Trying to hide.
Off. Yeah.
This is what they do.
Yeah.
And you know, I found out, you know, one of the enforcement companies, they are checked out their assets and their liabilities, right? And their assets were in the minus.
Yeah.
And their liabilities was like, you know, $6,000 plus.
Of course, because all these companies are in the minus. They're all in the red because they've taken the debt off the bank and they're getting you to try and pay their debt back. So they're in the red all the time.
Wow. I was quite surprising to see that, you know. And some of those companies actually been dissolved from since, you know, 2012, 2013. So how can they still be conducting business?
There you go. There you go. Right there. Right there.
So yeah, man, I've just been me personally, I've just been writing letters, man. Just been writing letters. So I'm just waiting for the response now, you know what I mean?
We write the letters beforehand, before there's any trouble or any arguments or any confrontation. If we do all of it beforehand, we've actually written to them and let them know.
Stay in honour, yeah.
You see, the thing about it, I think, I don't think she's on yet. Lauren, no. And Caroline, no.
What's happened? Go on.
Because I wanted to go over a role play because I got a couple of things from, well, Lauren was saying about, she was a bit worried if people came to the door. And I said, well, that's not a problem. Okay, so Nikki or anyone really, or Leslie, whatever.
Well, first of all, you're going to ask them who they're looking for.
No, yeah, I totally agree. But that wouldn't be the first thing. Okay, let's do a little role play. So Nikki, you come to the door and you ask.
Yeah, could I speak to you, please?
Yes, this is Limited. How can I help you? Who would you like to see?
I'd like to speak to Carl. We've got a notice here for enforcement notice here saying that basically you owe such and such a money. We've taken over the debt, and we're basically it was basically coming to settle the debt.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but as I just said to you, this is Limited. Who are you looking for in the company?
Well, I'm looking for Carl.
There is no one called. There is no one called Carl.
Can you prove this?
You're the one who's coming to the door saying to me that you're looking for. I'm telling you, the is a limited company. Here, have a look. Here's a title deed. So what does it say on the company title deed? Carl Limited. And it's a registered company. Yeah. So who are you looking for within the company? That's what I'm asking you. You're the one coming knocking on the door.
Well, I think there's some kind of mistake here.
Okay, stop there for a second. Now, yes, there probably is a mistake. What I would like to ask you, because you've come to this door asking for, I'm saying, yes, Carl Limited is here. This is where the company resides. Yes, Limited is here. But you're looking for someone in the company. You're saying, there's no one called Carl. I've just showed you the title deed. Here's the Carl Limited. Who are you looking for in the company? Now, you're coming to here, so you must have some documentation that shows the name. So could you show me the documentation, what you have?
Well, here's the documentation. It's got there's no limited, so
Okay, excellent. There you go. This is where you, can I just ask you a question? Are you illiterate by any chance? No disrespect.
No.
Okay, so that says, can you not see it's in capital letters? Are you reading that as English, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, so you must be illiterate because that's grammatically incorrect. You're looking for someone called, I'm telling you, there's a company here called Limited. You've got on your sheet there the name written down as a company name because it's all written in capital letters. That's grammatically incorrect if you're looking for a man or a woman. So you must be illiterate. Please go back to whoever you got this from and go and ask them. Because if you keep coming back to the front door, I'm going to have to call the police and ask, and because you're showing some harassment, because I'm showing you the title deed. Look, Limited, you're showing me a document with the name in capital letters. I'm trying to show that, hold on, wait a minute. I'm asking you the question, are you an illiterate person? Because if you're not illiterate, you should see that this is grammatically incorrect when you've written.
I've only been given the documents from the court, and
well, that's not my problem. You should go back to the court and ask them if it's the company, because as you just said, there's no limited on the end of this name, but it's written in capital letters. So that could only mean that it's an implied company, because there's no limited company at the end. What company is it? Is it an LLP? Is it a PLC? Is it a limited company? What company are you looking for?
Sir, sorry. Look, could we just come inside so we can have a talk about this?
No, because you're looking for someone called Carmichael. Is a limited company. This is a company. This is a private company. It says it here on the title deed, a private limited company. Yeah, this is private. If you don't have anybody's name to look for within the company, sorry, I can't let you in.
Okay. All right. So, sorry. Okay, Mr. Like, we'll be back.
No,
we'll be back.
Stop. I'm not Mr. This is Carmichael Limited. I'm not Mr. Carmichael Limited is the company. I'm not Mr. There's no one called Carmichael here. Who are you looking
sir,
for?
do you have any ID apart from these?
You're the one who's coming to the front door, and I'm showing you ID with the title deed. Carmichael Limited. You don't need to know who I am.
Okay, so sorry to bother you, sir. I'll be on my way.
See you later. Easy as that.
Yeah, so I understand. They can't.
You never deny who they're looking for, because they're looking for the name. But you're just correcting them as they say it. You're saying, yes, Carmichael Limited is located here. Who are you looking for?
Right.
You see, because they're going to say, is Carmichael here? And you're going to say, yes, Carmichael Limited is located here, but who are you looking for in the company? Carmichael Limited is a company. So you're not denying them the name, you're switching it on them.
Right.
And you're making them now answer your questions, and you're proving the fact. And you're saying, look, now you can say, well, what's on your document? Because if whatever's written on their document, that's who they're looking for. So if they're looking, if the document's written down as a capital letter name, they can only be looking for one of the four things we know. And the first thing you start with is the company, because you're telling them this is Carmichael Limited. This is the limited company. You've got paperwork with Carmichael on it, but there's no limited.
Yeah.
So who this is a company. You might have got your paperwork. If you go back to whoever you got this from, ask them if they had a contract with the limited company, and could they correct the paperwork to limited if it was a limited company that they have a contract with, and then come back and see us. But only come back if you've got a two-party signed agreement with the two directors. And I tell you this now, this company, Carmichael Limited, that you're approaching is dormant, and it's never traded since the day it was open. So I don't know how there could be any contracts with this company. So please go back and check. I'm happy to help you, because yes, you are looking for the right, correct name, Carmichael. Yes, here's the title deed, Carmichael Limited. It seems that your paperwork's incorrect.
Sorry, sir. Could you repeat that? Someone tried to call me, Carl. Sorry, that last piece there.
All right. No, I was just saying, basically, all you're doing is basically you're switching it back on them, because you're showing that their paperwork is incorrect. As long as you get to see their paperwork, You can show and prove that their paperwork is incorrect because their name is always going to be written in capital letters.
Right. Okay. Suppose it escalates now. They say, well, we're going to call the police.
That's okay. Call the police because you've got evidence that they're coming to the limited company because you've got the title deed. The title deed is a strong point. Their paperwork is nothing because you can turn around and say, well, hold up a minute. Yes, you've got the name down, but there's no limited or LLP or PLC at the end of it, which establishes what kind of company it is. And if you call the police, good, because you're coming as some imposter looking for somebody called Carmichael, and there is no one called Carmichael. If you find that person, go and find that person and bring them to me. I like to meet them.
Supposing he goes and checks on company's house and sees that Carmichael owns the
Yes,
limited.
totally agree. But now they're talking about Carmichael the man, because Carmichael the man will be written in uppercase and lowercase.
Yeah,
They won't have the paperwork with uppercase and lowercase on it. They'll have the paperwork with uppercase on it.
right.
Do you see? So because whoever the mortgage or whoever the company is, the bailiff company is, they can the company can only do the contract with another company. So they have to. A fine example is Caroline's case at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, like Caroline's on here. I want to talk to her about it because the thing about it, she said that. Well, you know about the case anyway, and I know I think she won't mind. I don't think.
No.
But basically, the mortgage company had sent the appointed a receiving company. Now the receivers stuck the letter to the door, and Caroline wrote to the receivers and said, "Look, do you have a contract with the limited company, Caroline Limited?" Now, what caught me off guard the first time, but I caught it around the second time when we spoke about it, is this. The receivers wrote to Caroline Limited Company and said they don't have a contract with Caroline Limited, but the mortgage company has a contract with Caroline, the woman.
Yeah.
And they wrote her name in uppercase and lowercase.
Yeah.
So if the receivers is saying that the mortgage company who appointed them has a contract with the woman, then the receivers have just hung the mortgage company, because the mortgage company won't have a contract with the woman. It'll have a contract with the implied company. Game over.
Yeah, because they'll always have to capitalise it when they put contracts.
There you go. But
Yeah.
there would never be a contract to a man or a woman.
No, that's right. Yeah.
So this is where they always will lose. And the thing about it, if any bailiff or anyone comes knocking at your door, again, that's scenario just there, what we played out, is exactly the same thing what can be done, because they are asking for the name. You're just correcting them.
Yeah.
Again, if they ask for ID, who are you?
Mm.
You're the one coming looking for this name.
Mm.
I'm saying to you, yes, this name is located here, but it's the limited company. There's no one called that name here. So who are you looking for within the company? Because you've got the company name and you've got it. If you show me your paperwork and it's written down as capital letters, that's automatically going to say that it's a company.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be an English acronym. That's why I'm asking the guy, are you illiterate?
Mm.
Because this is grammatically incorrect. I spoke to an English teacher this week. English teacher, teaches English in the schools and stuff. And I said to him, yeah, have a word, blah, blah, blah. Tell me if that's English or not. And he kind of like stumbled. And then when I spoke to him about the acronym, he was like, yeah, it's grammatically incorrect.
Yeah.
So no one can get you on and the language is the most important thing.
Yeah.
You can't change language. Grammarians couldn't change. The grammarians are the highest. Caesar couldn't get the grammarians to change the grammar. Sorry,
I
you
didn't
can't.
know that.
Yep. Because Caesar stood up and said about some word, and it was the female version of the word. What he said, he meant the male,
Right.
but he said the female version. and everybody chuckled in the court.
Yeah.
Well, not the court, the gathering.
Yeah.
And they was like, oh, yeah. And Caesar White, yo, no, what's wrong? Because he got embarrassed. Ego got to him. So he's like, no, but that word now is going to be changed to this. So this is going to mean this, and that's going. And one of the courts stood up and said, hold up, Caesar. It doesn't matter who you are. You can't change the grammarians.
Wow.
You cannot change grammar. If grammar's set, how can you change it? You can't. You can only add to it, but you can't change it. And the thing about it, they haven't done anything. They've done a cute trick. That's what they've done with language. Listen, my father came over here in 1952 from Jamaica. That was the kind of like, that's the first kind of like, that's the first kind of like people over.
Yeah.
Now, by the time they had children, my eldest brother was born in 1969. No, my eldest brother was born in 1959. 60. And my sister was born in 59. Now, if they was only born in 60 and they're mixed race children, and you're getting black people coming over into the English country, why are they going to now take the grammar out of schools in 1963?
Yeah.
If black people are just starting to come over into the country, they don't want us to know grammar.
Yeah.
No disrespect. It's not a racial thing, because I can't be racist because my mum's white and my dad's black.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking at the two, because I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the two and seeing what the hell's going on. And I'm saying, okay, this is what's going on as well. Because why would you take grammar and Latin out of the school in 1963 when you're starting to bring Caribbean and people?
Carl,
yeah.
I spoke to my friend's sons yesterday. They're aged 11, 12. They're aged 12 because they're twins. And they're studying Latin in their school.
Yes, but is that modern day Latin?
I don't know. I didn't query. They just told me they're doing Latin in their school.
Because remember, the modern day Latin uses uppercase and lowercase letters.
Right. Yeah.
Ancient Latin only used capital letters. And that hasn't been used for over 200 years.
Yeah, that's right.
So they've got modern day Latin, yeah.
Modern day, did you say?
Yeah, modern day Latin. I don't think modern day Latin has the interpuncts either, because they have uppercase, lowercase.
Yeah. I did Latin at uni because I studied archaeology and ancient history, right? And even there, I was not turned on to the fact we were taught about capitalized old Latin with the full stops in between. And this was back in the 70s, you know, this is a long time, and early 80s. And even then, I was not alive to the fact that the Latin they were teaching, which was uppercase, lowercase, bore no resemblance to the ancient Latin, proper Latin. And they've hidden it even, you know, when people go down the rabbit hole with them, they still don't tell you. It's all covered over. It's disgusting to think that I've had to wait till this end of my life to find out something as basic as that, you know.
Thank you. So, and that's why it's so clever what they've done, because it's so basic and so simple that you wouldn't catch it.
That's right.
And we're not catching it. It's only now that some of the guys are sending out letters now and they're getting responses and they're thinking shit. Because how can anybody answer these questions?
Well, they can't.
There you go. So what we're doing here is role plays and stuff. Like somebody coming to the door and I'm saying, yeah, this is the right location for Carmichael Limited. Who are you looking for in the company? Now you're throwing the ball in their court and confusing them. Yeah. Because they're not expecting that. Yeah. All you're doing, you haven't spoken to them. All you're doing is sending back the letters each time they write to the name. But when they do come to the front door, if they come to the front door, this is what they're going to receive. This is the confrontation they're going to have. And it's not confrontation. It's just trying to find out, just trying to clue them up, because yes, you're not denying them. They could have police behind them and they could come knocking at your door and you say, yes, how can I help you? It's Carmichael. Carmichael Limited, yes, is located here, but who are you looking for in the company? And again, automatically straight there. Hey, Caroline, how you doing? You're going to live long. I was just speaking about you.
Hi, Caroline.
She's probably just switching on and getting her tea and
yeah.
putting her rollers in.
Doing the ironing usually.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to spring.
Yeah, kind of. Oh, but
Spring is going to snow next week, isn't it?
Well, apparently, so they said. Bloody mental.
Yeah.
So when everyone's writing their letters.
Hi, Caroline.
She's probably driving. Sorry, Fabian, you were saying?
No, I was just saying that I know everyone's dealing with whatever they're dealing with in their own way, whether it be a fine or receivership or whatever. How are they signing off their letters then? Are they doing it by authorization?
Well, the thing about it,
or how are they signing off whatever their letter is? How are they signing it off?
Well, that's the thing. They'll always sign it off just with a scribble or a director or somebody's name. But as I said, the thing we be doing, don't pay attention to what they're doing, because remember, they're writing to a ghost. Mm. So now we're just writing back on behalf of a new entity coming into the picture. Because we're the limited company, they don't know about us yet. So when you're going in there with the limited company, then you're questioning them and saying to them, well, hold up, excuse me, do you have a contract? And you're going and looking up on Companies House, that company, because if you're opening a letter, which, some of us are doing, if there's a company name, look at the company name, go to Companies House, look up the company, have a look who the director is. See if that's the director's name on the letter. If it's not the director's name on the letter, write to the director if you want to. Because remember, you don't have to open a letter. You're only doing all of this if you open letters. That's it.
Carl,
yeah.
If we are writing back, or how can I put it?
Hold on, wait a minute. Before you say writing back, who's writing back? Because
exactly.
But hold up. You won't be writing back because you're the ghost in their eyes.
Exactly.
Now, what I'm saying is, in Caroline's scenario, in her case, what I had her do, or what I asked her to do, is write to the receivers and ask them if they have a contract with the limited company. Do you see? If you want to do that, that's it. Because you won't know who's writing to you if you don't open the letter.
Yeah.
If you do open the letter and you want to get caught up in all that headache, then that's up to you. But if you do, then what you're doing is you're writing to the company and you're writing to the director of the company, because you go on Companies House, you look up the receiver's company, you go on Companies House, find the director, write to the director and ask the director, excuse me, there seems to be some confusion here, because this is what Caroline's done. Could you let me know if you've got a contract with this limited company? Now, as I said earlier on in Caroline's scenario, is she asked them, they said no, they don't have a contract with the limited company. But the thing about it, they hung the mortgage company, because Caroline's now got a letter with the receiver saying that they don't have a contract with the private limited company, which is written in all capital letters. But the mortgage company has a contract with the woman, which is written in uppercase and lowercase in their letter. So she can provide the receiver's letter to the court and say, well, hold up a minute. The receivers are looking for this woman, but the mortgage company don't have an agreement with the woman. The mortgage company has an agreement with an implied company. So how can all of a sudden that language change?
So when Caroline is writing, would it be as the living, breathing person?
Yeah,
when she's writing on behalf of the implied person.
No, she's writing as a director of her private limited company. Because think about it. Right. Because what you're doing, what you do, you're setting the record straight with whoever's sending you the letter. Because you're basically saying, hold up a minute, who are you looking for? Because this is, are you looking for Carmichael Limited? This is what Caroline's done to these receivers. Are you looking for this limited company? Now, the receiver says, no, we don't have a contract with the limited company.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Right, no, but hold up. Now, if the receiver was appointed by the mortgage company, if the mortgage company has a contract with Caroline, which Caroline has a copy of the agreement from the mortgage company, she has a copy. On the copy, the name is written all in capital letters. If the mortgage company appointed the receiving company is telling Caroline, the limited company, that the mortgage company has a contract with the woman. But the mortgage company doesn't have a contract with the woman. It has a contract with the implied company. Caroline's got the document. The receivers won't give Caroline a copy of the agreement.
The receivers won't give Caroline the copy of
the agreement from the mortgage company if they have one.
This is where you're getting into the whole issue of assignments and trusts, because actually what you're talking about essentially is a trust between Caroline, the woman, and the mortgage company.
There you go.
Isn't it?
That's it.
So it's not about contract, it's about trust.
That's it. And who can they trust with? They can only trust with an implied company, with another company. Because it's the company that's doing the business. So it has to do a business with another company. So whether they make us into the trust as the capital letter name, that's the next one we can add to the list to add to the 4. So now there's 5. If it's a trust, it could be written in capital letters. We don't know, but it's a good question to ask.
Yeah. But also that point you made about if the receiver could turn up with a copy of the original agreement, you know that they can't, because they'll have sold that and securitized it.
Right.
So you know that they can never prove the debt in court. And there's a maxim that talks about if the debt can't be evidenced, it doesn't exist.
There you go. And that's the beauty of, as I just explained with that role play, if anyone ever comes to the door, you say, well, yes, Carmichael Limited is located here, but who are you looking for in the company? I want to see your paperwork, because what does your paperwork say?
Where's your standing? Yeah.
You see, if you're approaching this, you should have something to approach it with.
Yeah.
You see, so if they're approaching, then cool. They're saying, right, cool, blah, blah, blah. So they've approached with this. You're saying, well, hold up a minute. No, this is wrong. You need to correct this, because I can't accept this, because this is a limited company and you haven't got limited at the end of it, because I don't know if you're addressing it to the limited company, the LLP, the PLC, which company are you trying to establish here? Because with my limited company, as I just stated, my company hasn't traded, well, Carmichael Limited hasn't traded since 2015, and it's never going to trade. So I don't know how you're coming here with a company name on your document. So are you illiterate? Because you're saying you're looking for someone's name isn't written in capital letters. That's grammatically incorrect. So you must be illiterate. If you're illiterate, you shouldn't be in the job you're in. You put them straight. You put them straight. You put them straight. You make them look like a fool. You make them look like they're stupid. You make them look like they're illiterate because they don't know their English language. Full stop. You catch them on that. They shouldn't be in the job they're in because you can't even read English. So who gives you the authority to parade around and run around and do X, Y, Z when you can't even read the English language and you can't even understand the English language and you meant to be English? Shut up, man. Come on.
But also prove
that's the problem they've got.
Yeah, but you can also get them to prove what ability they've got to stand on your doorstep in the name of whatever company. Where's their deed of assignment or contract?
No, but this is it. That's why it's good for you just to say that. Then if they want to carry on, you say, hold up a minute, look, let me go and call the police and let the police come and resolve this. And then when the police comes, the police is on your side because you called the police. So the police is there as your peace officer. So if they come and you say to the police, now hold up a minute, this man or woman has come to the door and they're asking for Carmine. I'm saying yes, Carmine Limited is located here. Look, here's the title deed, Mr. Policeman. This is from Company's House. Now, if you look at that man's piece of paper, he's got the name written down exactly the same. But what I'm trying to establish is what company is it? And does he have a contract with this company? Because this company has been dormant since 2015 and it won't ever be open yet. So I don't know how there's a contract with Carmine Limited and he's got the name written down as a company name. Or he's illiterate because it's not grammatically correct. If it's a man or a woman he's looking for, it should be written in uppercase and lowercase.
Yeah.
And you tell that to the policeman.
Okay, suppose it's like, even if it's like a high court writ, like for something like, I don't know, you know, when you have to evict somebody.
But who's the contract? Yeah, but who's the contract with?
It'll be, obviously it's going to be with the implied company.
No, but
how they obtain that high court writ.
No, but who's evicting? Who's the company that, is there a company evicting or is there a man evicting?
Well, it's a company, isn't it?
No, it depends whether, if you're talking about court, it depends whether you're dealing with a criminal offence or a civil. Yeah. Because the way they write your letters, like I've got some here.
Yeah.
The way they
civil,
write your
civil
name,
and criminal will still come under legal because it still applies to the legal name.
Exactly. But if it's civil, in other words, if it's family, they're not going to write you in. Well,
this is it.
let me just clarify that because I could be wrong actually, but I've got paperwork here where they've written my name in upper and lower case letters. And the funny thing is, and then I've got other paperwork from the court where they're writing my name in all capitals, which is strange. Why would they do that?
No, but this is it. In certain cases, as we know, if they're writing in uppercase and lowercase, it's usually a promotional letter. If it's something like
it's my case number for your court hearing.
Okay, so that's the thing about it. What they're doing, they're writing to the man on the outside. Once he gets into the court, they flip the script.
Yeah.
Because they can't invite an implied company into the court. They can only invite a man or a woman. If the man and a woman goes, then they've got the man and woman to attach that implied company to. Now they can do business because you're agreeing to be in the implied company.
Yeah, that's right.
But they tie you together. As soon as you walk out that court and they send you the next letter, that'll come in capital letters.
Yeah.
Because they've just done a contract with the implied company. But they needed someone, a living being, going in there in the first place to act on behalf because they were sending a phishing letter. Because the uppercase and lower, remember, they're writing to your full name. They're writing to the legal name. They're not writing to the Christian name. They're not writing to the creditor. They will never do that. They will always write to a legal person, which is an artificial person because it's a legal name. It's the two names joined together. You got your surname on any document written from anyone, send it back, whether it's in uppercase or lowercase or not.
But Carl, I don't know how far you guys have got of what you've spoken about, but it's quite funny. I received the letter from the receivers again. Again, uppercase, lowercase, so phishing, even though they had limited. And they're basically giving me orders. This is a different receivers, by the way. They're giving me orders as if we've got a contract and telling me that they're acting as managing agents from powers given to them by the law of the Property Act. And from this point, I must stand down.
Caroline?
Is that saying that they've been given powers? They're now acting as managing agents under powers given to them by the law of Property Act.
No, but but what company gave them that?
Yes, I know. The mortgage company gave them the power, and the mortgage company actually wrote to me with their feisty self and says to me, with immediate effect, we hereby extend the terms of the appointment. This is a letter the mortgage company had written to the receivers and said to the receivers that they're acting on agents on my behalf. So it says, you will do so as agents for the mortgagor, which is me, and not as our agents. So basically, they've tried to wash their hands by putting the receivers between themselves. So they're telling the receivers to act as my agent and not agents for them. And then the receivers have written to me and telling me that I must stand down. My agency, managing agents, must stand down and send them proof of tenancy agreements, blah, blah, blah. But I know, and we all know, that it's by consent. So if I don't consent to it, there's no way they can actually go ahead. When you normally get a letter like this, you immediately think, oh shit, I need to do what they're telling me to do. But nah.
Who is the letter from?
One from the receiver company.
No, stop. Was it from Steve Cramish?
No, this is a different company, Templeton's.
Okay.
Templeton's. I haven't heard from Steve Cramish since I asked him if we've got a contract, and he says no. Right. He doesn't have a contract with me. I haven't heard from them since.
Okay, I'm going to come back on that. But you know this other one now. You looked up Templeton already, isn't it? And I think there was 2 directors on that one.
Yes. Both. Yes, there are 2 directors.
Mark was one of them. I think Mark and someone else.
Yeah, the Jeffrey. Yeah, I haven't written to them. All I've done so far is sent them a DSAR asking them who gave them permission to use my details, etc., etc. Now I've seen this. Now I can go further.
Right, but you're writing. But with that one, you're writing to them from the implied woman.
No, I want to write to them from the company.
No, but it's what I'm saying. See, I don't want to miss. Let's just stay on this Templeton for a second. Yeah. Because what you did with Waterford.
Yes.
Right. With Templeton, you said you sent a DSAR.
That's right. Yes.
Right, but you're sending it from the implied company.
That's right. Right. That's right. Yes, I did.
So now this is it. Go fresh and come in as a new entity as the limited company now.
That's right. That's what
you've just done with now. What I was saying earlier on, and I mentioned it to the guys, you said you had a letter from Waterford, right?
Yes.
And they said that they didn't have a contract with a limited company.
Yes.
Do you have that letter there?
Yeah, I can go get it. Yeah.
I mean, basically, all it was, because when you said from Steve Cramish at Waterford, you said that he said that there was no contract with the limited company.
That's correct.
Right. But he then said in the letter that the mortgage company has a contract with the woman.
That's right.
And it was written in uppercase, lowercase.
That's right.
Right. Perfect. That's what I'm saying. You've got a letter from the receivers now.
Yes.
To say that the mortgage company is actually looking for a woman.
That's right.
Not possible. The receivers have just hung the mortgage company.
Yeah.
Might the argument work in court though?
Of course it will. Because of the paperwork. Because the paperwork's written down in capitals. And the receiver's paperwork, if the receiver has been appointed by the mortgage company, the receiver would have received a contract or an agreement that was made between the mortgage company and the woman. So if they've got that agreement, which Caroline has a copy of that agreement, what was made between the mortgage company and the woman. But the mortgage company wrote the name in capital letters, which is a company.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the mortgage company is going to have an agreement, though, and that agreement's going to be a piece of paper which is going to show that there's an obligation that some entity has, and that liability is going to be attached to the property. So the property is going to be collateral. So, so if the mortgage company does not get the entity, but it doesn't matter who it is, but if the entity does not make the payments, then the mortgage company, because they've got a restriction or a charge on the property land registry, they're going to repossess the property.
Yeah, but Michael, that's the con job, because everybody thinks that the property is the security for the alleged debt. But the reality is, yeah, Caroline's got a copy of the original agreement, which is a security because she signed it.
But it's a fraudulent document.
The company itself, the mortgage company, will not have possession of that original agreement, because that original agreement would have been sold into the securitization market. So long as Caroline stands on the requirement to see proof of debt and proof of debt comprises the original agreement that this mortgage company says they've got with this woman. She will go under a DSAR asking for that, and she will push it, and they won't provide it because they haven't got possession of it, because it's in the hands of someone else. And all she then needs to do is push that into an order for disclosure using Data Protection Act. And once that order for disclosure of the original agreement is on the books, that company will have to desist, because they cannot produce the original and they cannot disobey a court order, so they'll have to discontinue at that point. And then, sitting behind that, the only thing that's operating on the woman under that transaction is the agreement she signed to pay interest. And that's a separate thing. But that's a contract that was founded on fraud, which is that they didn't give her the proceeds of that note, that agreement, when they sold it into the securitization market. And they should have done, because in law, that is recognised as her property. And there is a specific provision in the banking guidebooks that says on disposal of a security, the proceeds must be returned to the owner, which is the person that signed it, i.e. Caroline.
But I know that there are 2 people that have actually lost their house knowing all of this.
Really?
Knowing all of what?
Everything that Leslie's just said.
All right, that's cool. But then nobody's done it with the limited company. That's what I'm saying. Because the thing about it, what I'm saying to Caroline, in a certain sense, just to answer you again, Michael, as well, is what I'm saying to Caroline is, now she has the power in her right to say, well, look, this is limited. Now, I've just had a letter from the receivers saying that the mortgage company has an agreement or contract with a woman. Now, if Caroline wants to, she can say, we've limited, the company has just received from one of the tenants the original agreement made with the mortgage company. Now, on this original agreement, and here's a photocopy of it, you can actually see that the woman's name is actually written in all capital letters. That means it's a company. Or are you illiterate? Because it's not grammatically correct. Send them a copy of the original agreement that you've actually got from the mortgage company and say that one of the tenants gave it to you, and point out the mistakes in their contract, which will make it null and void. You have the power.
Carl, we know that Capital Letters is a company. Is it widely known that Capital Letter stands for a company? Is it widely known? Okay, you got the proof. Right.
Go on Company's House. You see it.
Well, I know that everything in Company's House is done in capital letters. Yeah.
There you go. That's it. The only other thing. All right. Let's knock out company for a second. Yeah. Let's knock out company, because company isn't a language. Let's look at the language. What language is it?
Okay, yeah, I get your.
It's one of the 4. Then. You're asking all the 4 in your letter. You're asking all the 4 questions, and you're showing them the original document as well. And you're saying which one of the 4 is it that this mortgage company is using? Are they using it as an implied company?
Right. Yeah.
Are they using it as English? Are they using it as sign language, or are they using it as legalese in the law society?
Yeah, but I think what's happened with,
to me, it looks like they're using it as legalese, and they ain't telling you that it's legalese.
You see, what's happened with my mortgage company is that so that they don't have to answer the questions, they've just sold it to the receivers. So they've kind of tried to wash their hands of it by going to the receivers. So regardless of whether or not I've been paying the receivers, I've been paying the mortgage company, they'll take it, they'll take the money, but they've appointed the receivers to be in charge.
Right.
So they'll still carry on taking the money.
That's cool. That's cool, because the thing about it, they're the third party interloper. The receiver is now the third party right. Now, the thing about it, the receiver has just told you that they don't, one, they don't have a contract with a private limited company.
Yes.
Two, they've just written down that the agreement was made with the woman, and they wrote it down in uppercase and lowercase. If you sent the receivers the original contract from the mortgage company and said to the receivers, look, I just got this from one of the same tenant that gave me your first and original letter, just handed me this. Now, the reason there's probably a confusion is that your mortgage company, who you received from, has actually written the name down as a company name. Can you explain that? That's what you're asking the receivers. But then you send them back their own letter and said, I thought you said the mortgage company had an agreement or a contract with the woman. Because here's the original contract, and this isn't a woman's name. This is a company's name. Are you illiterate? Are you stupid?
Surely the receivers aren't going to be interested in that. The receivers
listen. That's not your problem.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if they're interested or not. You've sent them the letter. You've got it registered and recorded. If it ever goes to court, they have to answer that in court because they haven't responded to it. So how they created the estoppel. So how can they go forward if they don't respond?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. If we send out the letters first, and we've got all these pointers in the letters, which we know they can't answer, especially about the language. Right. They create a estoppel. It can't go no further, because if that ever goes into the court, which it won't, because they'll keep it out of court, you can just take it in and say, well, look, I wrote you a letter here asking you who actually did the contract and who was the director under the implied company.
Well, that's just the thing, Carl, isn't it? It really has to go to court to see which way it's going to manifest.
That's because the thing. That's the thing about it. It won't ever go to court, and they can't take it to court, so it won't go to court because they know they're going to lose.
Well, they'll take it to the wire. Put it that way.
They can take it as far as they want, because at the end of the day, they can take it far as they want. Because at the end of the day, if anybody's standing, you call the police. Because the name on their document is going to match the name on your title deed. The only difference is that it's not established what company they are looking for. Because if you took that into the court of law and you said to the judge, hello, judge, you speak English, don't you? This is grammatically incorrect. I thought this was a woman they were looking for. The judge is going to agree with you because the judge doesn't want to look stupid. He's a barrister. He's a judge. He's a high court. He's not going to disagree. Because if he does, he's himself.
Yeah.
Because he's now saying he's illiterate.
Yeah.
And that's a barrister. Come on, man.
But the thing is, Carl, as you say, they're not going to want to get it into court, but I can't see any other way. Because you've got to take it into their court to tell them that's your system and I'm only abiding by the system.
Right. Now, the thing about it. Okay, so what Caroline's done is the first stage. She's written to the mortgage company. She's written to the receivers as an outside entity. So she's bringing herself into the picture because there's a confusion with the name on the original agreement.
Yeah.
The name I need to cement that. I need to cement that by making sure that the implied company transfers all the assets and liabilities to the limited company.
But you've already done that with your own letter. That's private.
Yeah, well, that's one of them.
That's private. That's private between your limited company and the trust. That's private.
Oh, so you're saying I don't need to basically show them anything? I've told them.
You don't need to show them nothing.
And that's. Well, you're right, actually. Yeah, I told them, and that's. They're the ones who've got to prove it. They want you to prove something. Yeah. You want them to prove something. That's it. That's the game. I actually asked them for the deed of novation and whatever. They said that they have a letter of assignment. All they would give me is a letter of assignment, and that's all.
Now, the thing about it, if you've just only got a letter of assignment, you've in your possession, you've got a stronger document because you've got the original agreement.
Oh, I see. Yes, capital letter. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, if you send that to the receivers and say, well, hold up, the reason I'm sending you the letter from the limited company is because it's written to a company. But it looks like you guys are being illiterate to that fact because it's not grammatic. You're saying in your letter you just wrote to me, you said the mortgage company was looking for a woman and you wrote it in uppercase and lowercase.
Well, actually, the receivers wrote to me, limited company, in uppercase, lowercase. So they know what they're doing, clearly.
No, what I'm saying to you is in your letter, you said in your letter, they wrote that they don't have a contract with the
two different receivers,
right. So no, let's talk about the Waterford one.
They said they don't have a contract with They said clearly we don't have a contract with Limited, but the mortgage company does have a contract with Caroline Angela Hibbert.
And how is
implied?
And you know, is that's written in uppercase, lowercase?
That's correct. Yes.
Right. This is what I'm saying.
Yes, I understand that.
Now, the thing about it, you write back with your original copy that was given to you from the tenant.
Yeah, well, I haven't actually heard from them, but what you're saying is preempt it then. Preempt it. Don't wait for them to come to me. Just send them a copy of it.
Because they're not going to be expecting that.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
They're not going to be expecting that. So if you say, look, here's the original document from the receiver.
Yes.
Well, here's the original
from the mortgage company.
Now, this is why this Limited has got involved.
Yes.
Because on this original agreement, it states that it's written out to a company.
Right.
But in your letter, which I am enclosing, that you sent to me the other day, put the date on it, whatever, you said the mortgage company had an agreement with a woman, but this isn't a woman's name. This is a company's name.
Yes. Okay.
And you make them look like the fool. You make them look stupid because you're pointing out the proper grammar and English to them.
Okay.
So they don't have a standing.
Point taken. Yeah. Point taken. Point taken.
The thing about it, what I said earlier on again with the role play, I done a role play. Lauren isn't on here. No, she isn't on here again. But basically, the role play I done earlier on with Nikki. Basically, it was like Lauren was saying to me, because you know what I was talking to you about, Caroline, when Lauren called me.
What were we talking about?
About people coming to her house. If they come to her house, how she deal with it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So what I'm saying, Caroline, is the same thing I'm saying to you. If the receivers come to the house,
yes,
and they ask,
yes,
you say yes. This is where Limited is located.
Yes. Yes.
Do you see? Because if they're you missed the role play earlier on, so you would have seen that what was going on. With
Leslie's recorded it, so I'll get to see it later.
Which me and Nikki did.
Okay.
And basically,
did Nikki mess up? Did you mess up, Nikki?
No, I didn't. I tried to even get in his house, but he wouldn't let me in his house.
Okay.
I tried to be nice and say, can we come in to talk about this? Like, just to try to trick, but nah, Carl was on it, so.
Yeah, Carl's always on it, yeah, okay.
The thing about it, they're coming looking for, what we're doing really is we're agreeing with them. We never disagree with them. We always agree with them because we then turn it around and make them look like the stupid ones.
Yeah.
Because if like me and Nikki done earlier on, Nikki came to the door and said, "This here," and I said, "Yes, this is the location of Limited. Who you looking for in the company?"
Yeah.
You see, so I've told them, yes, that is here, but it's the Limited company. So who are they looking for? And that what throws them, because they're looking for. But then you say, well, there's no one here called.
Yeah.
There's only the Limited company. And then Nikki said, well, can you prove to me who you are? And I said, well, I don't need to prove. But if you want to prove, here, look, here's the title deed. It says Limited. You're at the correct address. But it seemed, 1 minute, show me your paperwork, you say to them. And when they show you your paperwork, your name's going to be, the name's going to be written in capitals. Look, there's a company name. You're written in company, or are you illiterate?
What, you think it'll be in uppercase, in capitals? You don't think it'll be in uppercase, lowercase?
No, it won't be.
Okay.
And if it does, if it is, then you can ask for the original agreement by the two-party signed directors.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because the thing about it, if it is a woman, you've just answered their question as well. There's no one called here.
Yeah.
It's only Limited. That's it.
Okay.
There is nobody called. There is no one called that. How can they prove that? They can't. You're showing them the title deed to the Limited company. They've come to the address. You're saying, yes, this is the address and the location of Limited.
Yeah.
Who are you looking for? Oh, we're looking for. There is no one called. I've just shown you this is a company. Who are you looking for in the company?
Okay.
They need to go and double check them. And then when you ask them, show the paperwork. If it is written down in uppercase and lowercase, then you can say, well, hold up a minute. Well, I don't know who you're looking for because this is a woman's name, but this is a company name. It's written in capitals, just written in uppercase, lowercase, if they've got it like that. But there's no one here called. So you need to go, I don't know who you're looking for.
Okay.
You don't have to prove anything to them because they're the ones knocking on your door. You're agreeing with them to say, yes, this is.
I think that's a problem a lot of us don't realize, is that we don't have to consent to anything that they say. Basically, we're in the private. We don't have to. And I mean, I just had one of my tenants just now said to me, do they have to fill out the census form? I said, if you want to, but if you don't want to agree, I know they said by law you get fined £1,000. I said, are you going to give them your name willingly? Are you going to tell me that you? And she goes, I'm not giving them my name. So I said, how are they going to fine you?
There you go.
We forget, don't we, that we have certain rights, and
but
no man is above the other.
That's the trick with fear.
Yeah, it is. It is. I've been there many a times. Trust me.
That's an interesting point bringing up the census against Caroline, because I've got my census there on page 18. You know, Carl, you mentioned there are four.
And Fabian, why did you open it?
Areas.
Why did you open it?
To throw it away.
Right, what happened was, I didn't open any of the letters, but I got caught blindly by the ONS guy turning up at my door. I thought it was someone trying to send me double glazing windows.
Well, they knocked on my door as well. They knocked on my door as well. But why did you open it? And is it addressed to you?
I'm just going to finish what I was going to say, Michael. So I opened the door. He flashed me his badge. I thought, fuck, and basically he says, can I have your name? I says, why do you need my name? What's the importance of you having my name? What is it that you want? He says, I need to know how many people are in this property, because I've got 3 different application forms and I need to give the right one to you. So I said, okay, fair enough. I says, there's one, right? So he's given me 1 application form. Now, just going back to what Carl was saying about the 4 areas of language, did you say, Carl? Which is the English, the sign language. What did you say? English, sign language, legalese, and
company legalese.
Company legalese. Well, on page of right, as I said, there are 3 forms. So I've got one of them, which is for for an individual, basically, an individual occupant. And on page 6 of this form, it says, what is your main language? And the funny thing is, it's only got 2 boxes here, which says English and other. And other, it says, in brackets, include British Sign Language. Yes. On page 2 of the same form, it gives examples of how to fill out the form correctly, and it's using capital letters.
There you go.
So they're twisting themselves up.
Of course.
If you don't understand what we are going through as a group, but if you don't understand what they're doing, you're just going to follow suit, and you're probably going to fill it in with all capital letters. Yeah, it doesn't say on page 6.
If you're right in that, they, as you just said, they give you 2 options for the language: English and sign language. Now, if you write English, that means everything that's written on that document in capital letters.
Don't make sense. Can't see.
Don't make sense. It has to be an acronym.
Exactly.
If it's English.
So they're twisting themselves up with it, and then finally, as Caroline said, like any form, you need your signature, your date of birth, and your name, I guess, to form a joinder. So even if you was to fill this form out but not sign the declaration, is this going to be accepted anyway?
Well, the thing about it, if you fill the form out, you're going to put your surname down straight away, because it's an automatic thing you do. There, you're giving them the legal name straight away. Game over. So it doesn't matter even if you sign a declaration or not, because you've just written down your full name. That's the.
Have you started filling it out yet, Fabian?
No, I ain't sending them shit. But what I did because what I did.
Can I just say that? Why don't you just return to sender? Incorrect addressee. Return to sender.
No.
Contract, no consent, no liability.
What I did, Michael, is that I started filling it out, and I wasn't filling it in correctly. I wasn't using capital letters, obviously, and the writing wasn't within the box. So the writing was in the box and out of the box. So again, you're not sticking to the format. And lastly, I spilled deliberately hot chocolate all over the damn form, and that's what I'm posting back to them, because they said they will fine you, and I've looked into this with a friend of mine, and they've already started fining people. But there's a hell of a lot of people that haven't filled in this form for 3 reasons that they give, and
when they're fining,
as long as you send something back.
If they're finding people, who send the fine to?
How can they find you if they don't even got your name?
Exactly.
I can't tell you that. All I can tell you is that they have already started fining people. So however they're fining, I can't tell you how and why or what process they are using to find those people's details. I can't tell you that, but I can tell you that they have started fining people according to the information that a friend of mine found online, and she said that as long as you send back something, it doesn't matter what you send back. As long as you send back something, they can't find you because you sent something back. I've just spilled coffee or hot chocolate all over my form, particularly over the bits where it's got my name, and other bits and pieces like gender, date of birth.
It sounds like you're trying to avoid contracting with them, but the fact you're going to return it and you've put something on it, as far as I'm concerned, but you have, in a sense, got a contract with them now.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, but it's an implied contract. It's an implied company, though.
As you say, you need to put your surname on, and I haven't put my surname on, Michael. My surname's not on there, nor is my date of birth.
It's irrelevant. It's required by law. Now, when they're saying that, it is required by acts and statutes, okay? So if you're going to send anything back, even if the surname box is blank, okay, you are still contracting with them. The only thing you can say to them...
How, Michael? What's the contract made up of?
Sorry?
What is the contract made up of?
But it's by performance.
I'll say it's by performance now.
Yes, the only thing you can say to them is no consent, no contract, no liability. That's the only thing you can say to them in order to avoid it.
Can't you say you're private? Because that's what I intend to say. I'm private.
What? So you're going to put it on the letter? I mean,
no. If he comes to the door, no. Only if he comes to the door. I've shredded it.
Someone came to my door and they said, "But have you filled out the census form?" And I says, "No, because it's not addressed to me." And he said to me, "Oh, but it's required by law." I said, "Well, I mean, that's fine, but if you send it to me, I'm more than happy to look at it." And that's the truth, but I will open it, okay? I said, "But I'm more than happy to look at it." But I said, "But there's no one of that name here." And he says, "Oh, no, but we send that to everybody." I said, "Oh, okay, then. So now you're trying to coerce me to commit mail fraud." And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "If I open mail that's not addressed to me, then I'm committing mail fraud. So the only option I can do is to return it saying the incorrect addressee, no consent, no contract."
Yeah, but Michael, it wasn't handed in an envelope. It was handed by hand. That's what I was saying. He caught me off guard. So the first 2 envelopes is what they want you to go online with. That I didn't open, obviously. But I was caught off guard. So he handed me this form. I've got it here. I've not sent anything off. I've got it here. I wasn't really intended to send anything, but my friend was saying to me, if you don't, you'll get fined.
Fabian, sorry, I'll just cut in there a sec. Now, if anybody does think about sending it back, if they do want to, the thing about it, what I would suggest is, if you send anything back, always take a photocopy of what you sent.
Yeah.
Because if they respond with your name and it's all in capital letters, argument's over. Because you've got the original copy, what you sent back to them. Now, the thing about it, on the application form, do you know where it says the name?
Yeah.
Do you have to write your name in boxes
Yes, everything's in boxes, Carl. Everything.
Right. Hold on. Sorry. Now, the thing about it, if you wrote that name down and you took a photocopy and you sent it back, if they wrote to you in that name, how can they write to you that in that name if it's a legal document and there's the four corners rule with everything's in boxes you can't see?
Exactly.
So how can they write? How can they write to your name? Because they must have read your name off the document, but you can't see what's on the document because it's in the four corners rule. So
completely corrupted the document.
There you go. Because one, they'll write back to you probably in capital letters your name, and two, they've written to the name. So they've read the name on the document, which was in the four corners rule. Then they've actually switched it into an implied company. But you've got the original document to show and prove otherwise. Why is it changed into a company name?
I have, as I said, Carl, I haven't sent it off. Firstly, I've not done it in black ink, which is what they are.
Sure. But I'm just saying that's just something to think about.
No, of course.
You were to send any documents. Just make sure if you do, take a photocopy of it for yourself. Keep it in your file. Because that's the thing what most people tend to do. They tend to fill out an application form and just send it. They don't take a copy for themselves. So how can you prove what was on the original document?
Yeah, of course.
So now this is what I'm saying is if you send anything, no matter what it is, this is just an overall general thing with any application form. If you fill out an application form, always take a photocopy for yourself, because then that's the original proof and the document what you can take into court in the beginning, what started it all. First port of call.
And Carl, there's also 3 barcodes on this form. And they've got separate numbers. I cannot tell you what
they're probably just for different departments.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Because what will happen is when your documents are being processed, one set of department will look for a certain thing, then they'll scan it off and then send it to the other department, and they're looking for something else, and they'll scan it on and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that.
That's something though, Fabian. So how can they prove that you've actually received the document if they gave it to you in the
good question, Michael. Good question. What the guy did, he had his phone or some form of PDA device, and he took a picture or scanned the barcode, so they know that particular barcode was sent to this particular property, because he knows what property he's come to. Mm. So I was kicking myself because I don't answer the door to anyone I'm not expecting. But I actually thought it was a double glazing window seller. So I thought, let me just quickly get rid of him. And then he showed me his badge. I'm working for the ONS. And, he's going to put on his device, he spoke to someone, or he delivered the application to someone. I didn't give him my name or anything. So that's all he's got to go on.
Sorry, hasn't the timeline gone on that, though?
Sorry?
The timeline, hasn't that gone, though?
Don't worry about timelines. This is just to scare you lot. This can go on till August.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
My phone's ringing. Carl, you can carry on.
So what happens after August?
Not sure.
I'll come back on that. Well, let me just answer the phone.
Well, I can tell you now that I haven't filled out nothing. In fact, I just tore it up and threw it away.
The thing about it, what he said there was very interesting, where he said about the guy coming to the door and the guy showing him ID. The thing about it, he should have said straight away, sorry, I don't understand. I don't see the ID. Sorry?
Oh, fine.
You there, Fabes?
Yeah, okay.
He's just taking a phone call. Carry on, Carl.
All right, no, his mic's on. I thought you were speaking. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay. Fabian, what I was just saying is the thing I just noticed and got from that, when anyone comes to your door as well, you said he was from the ONS and he flashed you his badge from the ONS.
Yeah.
You should have said, sorry, I don't work for ONS. That's only for your staff members to recognize you by. I need to see some true identification. Can I see your passport, your driver license, and the utility?
Yeah, again, yeah. That's what I'm saying, Carl. I was caught so blocked off.
Which is cool. But again, these are just things to rethink about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even though we're talking about it now, we can always just go over that, and we've got video and stuff like that just to go over anyway. But again, always asked, when anybody approaches you and shows you an identification badge, that's for their company and staff members to recognize them by who's in the company. If it's a man coming to your front door, ask him for his passport, driving license, and the utility bill in the last 3 months.
That's right. because he's got to identify himself as a man if he's trying to contract with you as a man.
That's the thing, because the thing about it, he's working on behalf of a company. So you could say to him, well, are you looking for a company, or are you here? Are you see, now you're taking it into a personal thing. Is he setting up the census himself?
Exactly.
He's not.
Exactly.
You see,
as I said, to be honest, I'm looking to dig up from here. So I was hoping to kind of like go before any of this gets dragged out. But apparently, I can't remember where I read. I think, again, my friend who sent me all the details, this, even though they initially was telling people you've got to fill it out by whatever date it was the other day, they actually give you up to August.
Nikki was asking what happens after August.
I think they're just going to pursue people as much as they can in the court. I think.
Can I ask a question? You know, when you fill it out. Let's say if you fill it out, would you fill it out with the colon and the hyphen and all that?
No,
if you were going to fill it out.
No, Daniel, because as Carl was saying, everything's in the box. So forget all of that. They don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to. But if you have to fill a form out, you fill it out with that. Even if, let's say, if you do the passport, my passport's coming up for renewal, and I really want to sort out this other passport. But would I fill it out with a colon and hyphen and everything?
The thing about it, fill it out how you want, but as long as you keep a photocopy that's written in English that you wrote. Because when it goes to them, they're going to flip it and change it into capital letters.
Anyway, yeah.
So always keep any applications you fill out and send, always keep a copy of it for yourself, because that's one of the things we don't do. We don't keep a copy of an application form because there's no use for it.
Yeah.
But now we understand there's a use for it.
Yeah.
Going back to the census, I didn't fill it in 2011 and there was no comeback from it. So I don't see how they're just putting the frighteners on people.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Exactly what they're doing.
I'm just going to grab a quick link. I'll be back in 1 sec.
Absolutely, Leslie. I agree with you 100%. Yeah. That's why I'm not sending mine back. I'll just spit chocolate all over it, and if I had to, they could have that.
It's the same thing with the they put the frighteners up everybody. And 90% of people will fall victim for the actual threat and actually go ahead and do it. You know how many people's had exactly the same things with the census? They know. Yeah. They like to keep us under pressure, under duress, under stress.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm selling bits and pieces as I just said, because I'm moving. I had a woman come around to pick up something for me. She works for the NHS, and she said to me, "They are actually killing all the old people." Wow. This was a nurse.
That's a fact.
That's what she said to me. And my next door neighbour, she's Polish. She's a nurse. And she says to me, she's not taking a. She says she can see from her work the effects that some people are having from having the. But that aside, each to their own. At the end of the day, now I know people that's taking it, family included.
There's loads. Yeah.
They just don't have the full.
This is a free, supposedly a free country, isn't it, Fabian? But they use threats to keep everybody in place. But yeah, it's a free country.
Joke.
Absolutely. It's just one of those things. But going back to the census form, I agree with you, Leslie. Even though I filled it in with a felt tip pen, not all within the boxes, so it's in the box and out of the box. I've done everything to make it really, awkward. Yeah. And
you filled it in.
As I said, Michael, I'm not going to send it through anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'll sit here and if I'm still here, then fine.
Fabian.
Hello.
Sorry. Can I just say this? When I was working for Weekend Arts College, this performing arts company, they asked me to fill out a form, the contract or whatever, and I said, yeah, sure. They sent me They sent me 3 documents. All the documents had boxes on it, and I did exactly the same thing as you said. I wrote outside the boxes. Now they got in touch with me and said to me, it's a bit confusing. Why did you write outside the boxes? And I just said to them, I said, well, it's the 4 corners rule. I don't write anything in boxes because it doesn't show that there's a proper agreement being made out, because it's the 4 corners rule in legal terms. So if you do want me to write this agreement with the director, then by all means, just put it on a plain piece of paper, no boxes, no nothing, and I'm happy to fill it out. And that's the thing. If you send back that document and you tell them, I'm happy to fill out this document, but I'm not going to fill it out when there's boxes on the page, because in the legal system, boxes on the page means the four corners rule, and a solicitor will tell you that. So if you do need me to fill out a document, then please send me on a blank piece of paper with all the information that needs to be put on, because then they would have to send you a document without boxes on it. Because you're not denying them, you're agreeing to give them information.
Yeah.
But you're not. But you're saying your document is incorrect. You need to correct your document, and then I would happily fill it out, because in the legal set, and you put the legality in there. You tell them about the legal. You say, look, if this is a legal document, then the four corners rule applies. So anything I write in these boxes, nothing's on the page. So if you want any information on the page, please send me a document with no boxes, and I can fill it out for you. Happy to fill it out and see what they come back with, because they won't come back with it. They'll scrap it, because they know the legal and the law. This is the thing. If we see a mistake, let's send it back, telling them the mistake, and for them to amend the mistake and send it back, and I'm happy to fill it out.
Yeah.
So you're not disagreeing, you're agreeing. Always agree to do it, but tell them, on this consideration, I'll fill it out, but you amend the paperwork, and I'm happy to fill it out, because I'm sorry, in my eyes, in my knowledge, you see, you've got to let them know that you're knowledgeable. They think that the 99% of the country are sheep. I'm showing you, listen, I'm an intelligent, sorry for the language, but you have to tell them. We all have to tell them. If they don't know, then they're going to keep sending these letters. As soon as we tell them something, and we know that we know, and they know that we're intelligent to actually know the legal side and what they're actually doing, I'm sure they're going to run a mile and not want to deal with you anymore, because you can uncover their scam, because everything is just a scam.
Can I ask something? Because funnily enough, you're talking about census. I've just got the third letter, because basically what happened, I got the original letter. Then I thought, at the time, because I didn't get the letter, I phoned them up. I don't know what I did, but I phoned them up, and then I got like a big kind of document to fill out. But then I haven't sent neither of them back. And today I've got a letter from the census saying the household, all in lower, and my address on it. So what should I do with it? Should I return to sender it? Should I leave it?
As I said just a minute ago, what you can do, you've opened the letter. Now, you've read the letter. You've seen all the boxes and everything else. What you know now, Jax, is about the legal side of things, is you know that the four corners rule applies, because you're looking at the document and you're seeing boxes and you're seeing the four corners rule. So what you can do, you can take that letter and don't touch it. Just put it in an envelope with your letter. And on your letter, you write all the mistakes of the document and tell them, send you a blank document, remove all the boxes and everything else. Keep the same information on there, but remove all the boxes, and make sure there's a director's name at the bottom who I'm going to be in agreement with. Ask them to send you that. Just take off all the boxes off the document, and you're happy to fill it out and send it back once they remove all the boxes from the document. They won't.
So if you don't want to do that, should I just...
Of course they won't. Of course they won't.
Right.
But if you let them know that you know what the four corners is, they're going to know you know legal. Because the legal team's going to look at that and think, fuck, this person knows legal, because they're talking about the four corners. Nobody talks about the four corners.
So you wouldn't recommend just seal it back and return to sender?
Yeah, you can return to sender. That's the thing. But if you do want to send it back because you've opened it or whatever, and all you're doing, you're not sending it back. You're sending it back. You're saying, look, you've addressed it to the homeowner. Now, if you want anybody to fill this out, you're going to have to remove all the boxes from the document. Forget everything.
Actually, Carl, it's not homeowner, it's occupier. They don't care who.
Occupier, homeowner, whatever.
The first letter comes as occupier, right?
Right. But listen to what I'm saying. You keep going back occupier, homeowner. Forget that. They want information from you.
Yeah.
You're saying to them, if I'm going to give you information, I want to make sure you get that information. So I don't want to write the information in any boxes, because in the legal sense, if I write any information in boxes, it means it's not seen and there's nothing on the document. So I need for you to remove all the boxes, keep the same information there for me to fill out, but remove all the boxes, and I'll happily fill in the information and send it back to you. You tell them your understanding of the legal world.
Yeah.
And then they will look at that and think, okay, I don't understand this. They pass it to a solicitor. Solicitor will know that straight away what you're talking about. Always write to these people like you're writing to their legal team, because you want to put the heebie-jeebies in the legal team. You want the legal team to know that you know what Four Corners rule is. You know what a legal name is. You know what acronyms are. You know what legalese is. You want the legal team to know that you know that, because that legal team ain't gonna mess with you, because you can smash their legal team apart in a second. Sorry.
Can we talk about? Yeah, you finished, Carl.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Can we talk about Michael's letter? I don't know unless you've already spoke about it. The letter that Michael sent to us regarding.
Before we go there, though, one second, Caroline. Sorry, Michael, Caroline. Before we go there, Laurie, I see Laurie's on. Laurie, hi, Laurie. You there?
Hi.
Hi, how you doing? Listen, we went over a quick role play earlier on for about your scenario of just if somebody ever came to the front door.
Right.
Right. Does anybody on here remember the role play we did earlier on when me and Nikki done that role play?
Yeah.
Does anybody know how I carried on? Did you want to be that role play with Laurie? Does anybody want to be the role play with Laurie and be in my position with Laurie? So you can try it for yourself as the role play.
I wasn't on at that time. What was the role play? Who was the scenario?
The scenario was me, and Nikki was like a bailiff coming to my front door asking for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just, if anybody, it could be anybody coming to your front door asking for you. Yeah. So, because I had a conversation with Laurie during the week, and we had a little discussion, and it came to my mind, and I thought, well, this is one way we can actually do this. So Laurie wasn't on earlier on. I mean, I could do it again if you want. It's quick, won't take long. It's a quick thing. Laurie, basically what it was, I know you mentioned about if somebody came to your front door, right?
Yeah.
If somebody came to your front door and it was my front door and they was asking, okay, let me and you do it. You come and ask for.
All right. Are you?
Yes, this is limited. How can I help you?
No, I need to speak to the person called Carl.
No, there's no one called. There's the limited company is called Carl Limited. Yes, there's no one called. Who are you looking for?
The man called.
I just said to you, there's no man or woman called Carl. It's a limited company. Carmichael Limited is a company.
So did Carmichael used to live there then? Because we've got an agreement with him. So does he not live there anymore then?
I really couldn't tell you that, but at the moment, this is Carmichael Limited. 1 second. I'm just gone inside. Now I'm back. Here's the title deed. Look, it says this is company's house. Title deed, company's house, Carmichael Limited. It's a company. This is a company. Who are you looking for in the company? There's no one called. Maybe 1 minute. Can I have a look at your paperwork?
Sure.
So you show me the paperwork. So, okay. Yeah. So, I see your mistake, my dear. What you've got here, you've got written in capital letters. Are you illiterate?
No.
Right. So why are you looking for a man called Carl if you've got it written in capital letters as a company? Because this is grammatically incorrect. If you're looking for a man, it'd be written in uppercase and lowercase. That's proper English grammar. So if you don't, you need to go back and check with whoever wrote this and find out if it's a company they're looking for or if it's a woman. If it's a woman, they need to write it in uppercase, lowercase. If it's a company, they need to put what is their company established as? Is it a limited company, a PLC or LLP? Because by looking at your paperwork, I can see your confusion and your mistake. You're looking for Carmichael, but it's written in capital letters. And I'm telling you, yeah, this is the company which is written in capital letters. but it's limited.
Yeah, that's just because it's the computer. Like when you put stuff in the computer, you would have filled out a form and it says please fill out in black ink in all capital letters. So that's how the name is, how it is on the system. But it is an individual we're looking for. It's not a limited company.
Well, I mean, like, I can't argue with grammar. I mean, I'm just going off the Queen's English.
Most of the time, the person would not say about. They won't really go down that route. They would say, "Look, you're the person that we need to speak to." They're not going to really talk. There's not going to be a difference between them. But you already covered it in what you've said, in the fact of you would have to be asking them for their identification.
Yeah, the thing about
before you even went there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, the thing about the most important thing, what I'm trying to get across here is that how you don't deny them. You agree with them. You say, yes, this is the location of Carmichael Limited. You're at the right location, but there is no man or woman called Carmichael. Who are you looking for? You've got now. If I say to you, show me your paperwork, what made you come here in the first place, and the name is written in capital letters, then we've got a problem, because it's either written in English, which is an acronym, it's either written as a company, it's written as legalese, or it's written as the last one, sign language. So then you're asking them. That's why I'm saying, are you illiterate? Because this is grammatically incorrect. You're telling me you're looking for a man called Carmichael, but you've gotten a company name written down here. So you need to go back to whoever you got the document from and get them to amend a mistake to Carmichael. But even if you do, you can still come back, but you're only coming back to the limited company. There's no one called Carmichael.
Yeah, because they came to my door a couple of weeks ago, and it's a bit more than that, because I told you guys about it, and then I said to them that there's no one of that name living here. Yeah, about that. This was through the intercom, and he said, "But wait, but
you see what I'm saying? You've already denied it. Don't deny it. Say yes. This is Daniel blah 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 Limited. This is Daniel Limited. Who are you looking for in the company?"
Yeah, I just learned that now. When you see
but it only came to me when I was having a conversation with Laurie during the week.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. We have to look at these kind of things, that how they're approaching us and how we deal with it as a company.
Yeah, and then the next time they came, right, Carl, they just, because it's a communal door.
Hold that thought there 1 second, Daniel. Just hold that thought. Laurie, did you get that? Understand what I was going through there?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
They're approaching you and you're telling them, yes, this is Laurie blah 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 Limited. So who are you looking for in the company? Because you don't have to tell them who you are. If they say, is there any identification? You go and get the title deed and say, yeah, here, look, it's a company's house, limited company title deed. And it's got exactly the same name, what you're looking for. So are you looking for the company, or who are you looking for within the company? Because there is no one called Laura, whatever your name is.
Yeah.
You see, you put it back on them, because if they show you a document with the name in all capital letters, you know then that they're looking for the implied company, or they're illiterate because they can't read the English grammar as an acronym.
That's when you have a physical conversation with them.
Carl, you just said if they're looking for the all capital letters, they're looking for the implied company. Don't you mean they're looking for the company?
Yeah, no, they're looking for the implied company, but they're writing it down to say they're looking for the woman. Because if you're
but it's all capitals, so they've got to be looking for the company, not the implied company.
But you see, this is the thing about it with language. When we speak, I'm saying to you, Caroline, I'm looking for Caroline.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to you, I'm looking for Caroline in all capital letters.
Okay.
You see, so when a man or woman comes to your front door, they're going to say, oh, because they don't know the knowledge we know. They're just some worker who works for the company.
Right, okay.
So they're going to be looking for Carmichael, which is the man. And that's what Laurie said. I'm looking for the man, Carmichael. Well, there is no man called Carmichael. Now, when he says to me, he's looking for the man, then I turn to him and say, show me your paperwork. When he shows me his paperwork and the name is written in capital letters, he's just told me he's looking for the man. How can he be looking for the man if the name's written in capital letters? So are you illiterate?
I'm with you. Okay, with you.
You see, you flip it back on them.
Yeah, got it.
Make them look stupid because they're trying to make us look stupid and we're dumb that we don't know what to do. Sorry for the language.
No, you're not.
But we're not. So I know. Sorry, but
yeah, and I had to put you on my headphones because you keep cussing. So I had to put my children. My children listened to the last couple of things that you said.
I'm sorry. Yeah? I'm sorry. I won't cuss no more. Sorry.
Well, you can do it now. I'm on the headphones now. So cuss to your heart's content.
I apologize. But this is over 18. I'm joking.
Yeah, obviously it's rated. Yeah,
sorry.
It's got a rating.
Yeah. But do you understand that as well, Daniel?
Yeah. When they came back to me, you know what they did when they came back, Carl? They actually stuck it because I live in a place of 8 flats. So they stuck it on the front door. They just put a piece of sellotape, and they stuck it on the front door.
This is what they do.
Yeah, and then when I came out, I took it off and I looked at it. It's £500, and it's for actually they said it's for some
okay, before you get into the
anyway, it doesn't matter what it is, but it was just
no. But before you get into so at the top of the letter, what they stuck on your door?
Yeah.
Was there a company name?
Yeah, I'll just get
okay. So have you been onto Companies House and found out who the director of that company is?
No, but I'm going to. I know. I'm going to. Okay, absolutely. Cool. Yeah.
And then follow the same process what Caroline did. You can write to them as the limited company, asking them, do they have a contract with Daniel Limited?
Yeah, it's White and Co. bailiffs.
Yeah. Look them up, see if they're registered as Companies House. Find a director, deal with the director.
Yep.
The thing about it, if you do want to step into that arena, what Caroline did, she got a letter back from the company and they said they don't have a contract with Caroline Limited Company. So you can
Nicky as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. So it's really just going after their director.
Yeah,
because their director is writing the name down, or their company will be writing your name down in all capital letters.
Yeah,
you know the letter what you took off the front door.
Yeah,
was the name written in capital letters?
Yeah, it's in all capital letters. It's actually printed out.
Well,
sometimes they try to do it by hand.
No, but this is it. Now you have your first port of questions. You're sending it back if you want, and you say, well, hold up a minute. Are you looking for Daniel Limited, or who are you looking for? Because you've got this written down as a company name.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm not.
You've got the correct address for the company, but there's no man called Daniel here. If you're looking for a man, are you looking for the company? Who are you looking for?
Yeah.
Now you're dealing with the language. Now they got to come back to you. You can even put all them things, the 4 parts. Are you looking for implied company? Are you looking for, is this English? Is this a company? Is this sign language? What is it?
Is it acronym? That's right, yeah.
But this is it. You're asking them questions. What is it?
And they've put in capital letters, take formal notice, and then all the rest is written in small, in lowercase.
Well, of course, because them 2 parts there is foreign language to the document. Two different jurisdictions of language on the same document. Nullifies the document. 2 different jurisdictions of language. And that's on any document.
Oh, just to ask you, have you ever written to anybody and asked them these same questions that you're asking us, and have you had a response from them?
You don't get to anybody. You don't. The thing about it, as I said, I wrote to the DVLA about my bike, and I questioned them about the bicycle and how is there meant to be MOT and insurance and tax or whatever on a bicycle. Right, and the thing about it, the first remember that when they wrote to me the first time, they put a reference number on it. But when they wrote to me a second time, when I questioned them deeper, they took the reference number off, so it wasn't related to that part of the letter. So if I took that to court, I couldn't bring that letter into court because there was no reference number on it.
Yeah. I would have put the reference on regarding your last reference, your last letter reference.
No, but that's what I said. I said because when I wrote to them, I said referencing your letter, reference number, blah blah blah, etc. Yeah, I've done that all proper. Do you know what I mean? So when they wrote back to me, they didn't put the reference number on it, what was related to that reference number either. They left that reference number off, so it couldn't be attached to that.
Right. Yeah.
This is what they do. They try all these little tricks. Or if you get a number, you might have 6 numbers, And then on a second document, you'll have 6 numbers, but you'll have 3 numbers, a space, and then another 3 numbers, but it's the same number. And that space makes a gap. So it's a completely different document.
Completely different number.
Completely different number. That's the thing. These are the little tricks they do on all these forms. It's them little things what catch us out as well.
Carl, you see though that letter that you wrote to the DVLA, can I ask, have you got a copy of it that we can see that you wrote to them and the questions that you asked?
Yeah, this was like 2015, man. I mean, like I've still got the papers in, you know, that big folder. When you come back next time, I'll show you the letters.
I'm saying, would you be able to take a copy of it? Sorry.
Well, I got it on paper, but I don't have a stamp.
Excuse me. You can take a photo of it with your phone and then just post that.
My phone.
All right. If it's all right. It's just that I would like to see the questions that you actually asked them. You know, I'd be really interested to see that because I want to do that with my car.
Yeah, no, but basically, we see, I done it with the bicycle because I've got a motorbike.
Yeah, I know.
So, but what it is with the car, for example, if you want to do, all you're doing, you're just getting them to clarify that they own the petrol car, because they don't. Yeah. They own the registration plate, which is the vehicle. You ask them the question, what is the vehicle? Because the vehicle, and then you say to them, well, where's the manufacturing certificate of origin? You can also ask them as well, because this my next letter to them, because I'm going to be sending them a letter anyway. So basically, I'm asking them all these stuff. So basically, who got the manufacturing certificate of origin? Do I work for them? If I do work for the agency, then how much are they paying me? And who do I send the invoice to? Because I'll be charging them £1,000 a month. Is the vehicle attached to my bicycle for a reason? Because I'm advertising them. So I'm going to be charging them a carrying fee for it to be put on my bike because it's an advertisement for the DVLA. I'm advertising one of their numbers. So if they want it on my bike, they're going to have to pay me another £5,000 for that a month. Do you see, there's all these different things, because what they're doing, you've bought a car and they're attaching things to your car. If you get a taxi, look at the black taxis. The black taxi is riding around and there's nothing on the black taxi. All of a sudden, an advertiser comes along and sticks a billboard on the side of the taxi. The advertiser is paying the taxi £1,000 a month, for example.
Yeah.
This is what you could be doing to the DVLA for them attaching advertising number to your car, petrol car, because it doesn't belong there. It never came with the car in the first place.
Well, saying that, a friend of mine, he puts his own number plates on his car.
That's it.
And not the Emaven one, because I've seen the Emaven one as well. And I said to them, how come you just put your own number plate on? He says, are you telling me that I don't have the God-given right to do exactly what I want? He sent back his birth certificate for a start to Rishi Sunak. And he says, I can do whatever it is that I want to do as long as there's no harm, injury or loss.
Which is cool.
Get stopped. Yeah.
Which is cool. Now, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a better thing, but another thing to add to that, if they say to you, why, blah, 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 you can say, well, are you saying I work for the DVLA?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you do, can you put that in writing? Because if you're saying I work for the DVLA, that means I can go to them for my wages.
But he sent back his driver's license too. He sent that back to them, and obviously, the logbook. I think he sent back the logbook, and he said, I can put whatever name, whatever number I want on there because the vehicle is mine. I've got a God-given right. Otherwise, they need to prove it. Huh?
What he should do is ask for the manufacturing certificate of origin.
Was the guy been stopped yet, Caroline?
It's Ian. Michael.
Have you seen your letter off, Caroline, yet? To DVLA?
Have I? No, I haven't done it yet. No, I haven't, because there was a few things I wanted to query. But Michael knows the guy that we're talking about. That I saw him with another number plate. I think I told you, Michael, didn't I? Yeah. So he's got 2 number plates. One says with WT, and the other one says pay, which is basically saying how, because he says there is no money. So that's what he's got in his number plate. That he says he's got several cars, which makes sense. Pay and pay with tax.
I mean, he was stopped once, so wasn't he?
Yeah, but he said he handled it though, didn't he? He says by the time they went and looked him up on the database, they quickly ran away because again, he's evidence that he sent his stuff back to Cressida Dick and Rishi Sunak and whoever else needs to be sent back.
Right. You see, I was asking that question in when we was all meeting about a good couple of months ago, you know, whether we should just like approach it like that and just send it back.
Yeah.
You know, so
well, we have to think about insurance. We got to think about insurance as well. I mean, I think he did say to us, yeah, what did we say about it?
Well, with the insurance, we know that, I mean, like, I got stopped by the police on my bike, one of them road stop things. And the guy, at the end of it, the guy turned around to me and said to me, make sure you go home and phone the insurance company and tell them to green light you because you're red lighted. What happens? The insurance company takes your money. If you're a safe driver, they take your money every year, but they don't actually insure you. They leave you as red light. So the money don't go down to the insurance to cover you.
But they just keep it.
They keep it, and they say, so the police, so if the police stop you, they can see that you're not insured because you're red light. But when you tell them, yeah, you're insured, you tell them the company and they go and check it, they tell you, go and make sure you tell them to green light you because they haven't got you down as insured. So that means they don't put that money, what you gave them, where it should go. They take it for themselves.
Right.
Do you see? So
how's that going to help us? How's that going to help us with getting insurance? I hear what you're saying, but
well, the thing about it, you don't need insurance because insurance is only for the implied company. It's not for the man or a woman. Don't think that you when you get insurance, just you that's insuring yourself. You're not.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, it's insurance. Yeah, okay.
That's the thing. So that's the thing. If it's with an insurance company, so a company can only insure another company, which is the implied company.
That's very true.
They can't insure a man or a woman.
But in terms of doing the right thing, though, so say like if you were to hit someone, God forbid, in terms of making payment to them in order to get their car fixed, you've got to give them something, haven't you? So
yeah, sure.
Suggesting to pay.
We did that whole scenario, didn't we?
But that's between you and the man or woman that you have an accident with. If you have an accident.
But then the scenario was that it was a Bentley that got hit, okay, which is a lot more money.
Yeah, and what? How do you get out of that one?
But the thing about it, now you understand why it's a limited company. Now you understand why we're running around as implied companies, because a lot of people don't want to take responsibility and liability for the actions they cause.
But could I just ask, because I know you mentioned in one of the earlier meetings, I've been really silent because I'm doing something with my daughter, but couldn't you use, the 5 million public liability with the company name to cover the liabilities for, say, like the Bentley?
Yeah, you could get company insurance, just liability.
Yeah, that's only about 100 quid, even less.
There you go.
That's right. Public liability. Yeah, we discussed that, Caroline. That's true.
We
discussed that. We all were there. We discussed it.
But Caroline also was saying that in the acts or something, there is that law where you get that overall cover anyway for insurance cover.
We just can't find it, right, Mike? We know that it was mentioned to us. We just can't, for the life of us, find it. But it's in the Road Traffic Act.
I mean, I've been looking for it.
We're actually covered.
I've been looking for it. I can't find it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tighten him down because he did show it to us at the time.
What do you mean it's in the Road Traffic Act? What's that got to do with you driving or travelling down the road?
In the Road Traffic Act, in the Road Traffic Act, it actually says that you're covered for a certain amount. You have a certain amount. Basically, the government is covering you.
The government.
What do you mean from where? The government is covering you.
I do know that insurance companies, they pull together. So, for example, if there was an accident, and let's say a driver ran away and they couldn't find that particular driver, and the other person involved in the accident was injured, the insurance company, they all give to a certain tab, if you like. They all pull together. So for all these weird and wonderful examples of traffic incidences, however and whatever they may be, they take from this pool.
Yeah, I've got a guy that does insurance for people like who find it difficult to get insurance, right? So if you can't get insurance, I've got a guy that does that. But what happens is he is part of he says that, all of the insurance companies now, they're all linked together and they're actually only owned by about 5 or 6 companies own all of the insurance companies in England now. You know, they're just like in little groups, maybe 5 here and 5 there and 5, yeah. But they're all like becoming amalgamated, and the information is becoming amalgamated, so they know about you. But so like so with the situation with a Bentley, right? That means that basically that person, because they're already insured, their insurance would be able to cover the accident, I guess, anyway, or cover the situation. But that's not really covering you, is it? If you know what I mean.
The thing about
there's a couple of things I've had to deal with this personally, because my dad deregistered his car. He basically he tried to change the name, DVLA, like the ownership document. He tried to change the name on that, DVLA wouldn't let him. So then he figured out, well, I'm going to deregister it and basically export the vehicle to another country on paper. And that's what he did. And then he sent his driving license back to DVLA, and he wrote a letter saying that obviously he was a man, that he wasn't doing any commercial activities, and that he did not require a license. Now, he sent a notice and he never got any response from, is it Julia Leonard, who's the CEO of DVLA? And then he had insurance from before, before he did all this, but he still had insurance. And so what happened, eventually the police stopped him, put him in a jail cell for the night, and then let him go the next day. Then it went to court and stuff. But I had to do data protection stuff to get the data from all these parties. And like you say, all the insurance companies are underwritten by like a maximum of 4 different companies. So there's all that data sitting there. Now, what happened was the police said that he was uninsured because he didn't have a driving license. But when we read the small print of the insurance document, it actually said you did not have to have a license, but you had to have had one at one point. So he was actually insured.
Wow. There's so much
number two, when we were looking at the insurance stuff, because they were saying like you're not insured, but as we started looking at the insurance stuff, like Caroline was saying earlier on, there is a company that I can't remember what the name is right now. I'd have to go look through the paperwork, but there is a company that everybody's insured in case somebody doesn't have own private insurance. And so even though they were saying that he wasn't insured, okay, first of all, we found out that on his own insurance he was insured, and then second of all, we found out that he was insured anyway because everybody's insured as a stopgap by this other company. I can't remember what it was called just now.
That's just so bloody cool.
Implied insurance.
It's governmental backed. So
it's government, so it's implied insurance then. So we're running around. Sorry, that must be implied insurance. So we're running around giving these people our money, not knowing that there's a pool of money they're ready for insurance. So they're taking money off of us, and that's.
The thing is, though, you see, but we have to, in a sense, produce that and say, well, look, I'm already insured because of whatever reason.
Yeah, we need to get to the root of it, isn't it? To find out what the actual language is, and
the root of it is who you're actually insuring.
Well, but it's the underwriter as well, isn't it? I mean, I've seen that quite a lot of insurance companies, but they have the underwriter, and UK Insurance Limited is a big one. I mean, I've seen that on quite a few insurance documents, that it's underwritten by UK Insurance Limited. I don't know much about them, to be fair. I guess it might be worth investigating that. Because it's funny that it's not a proper company name, is it? UK Insurance. What does that mean? Does that mean that everyone is automatically insured?
It's not even a limited or PLC or LLC or anything like that.
It's limited. It's a limited.
Does it have a registered number?
I don't know about the registered number, but it definitely says underwritten by.
Should be on Companies
Insurance Limited. Hang on, let me have a look online.
Probably on Companies House.
Here you are. UKI was established in 1974 and is an insurer that underwrites policies for many well-known brands. So that's UK. It's u-k-insurance.co.uk. In the chat.
Wow, U-hyphen, U-hyphen-K-hyphen.
Yeah.
But doesn't that go back to the Lloyd's of London? Doesn't that go back to the Lloyd's of London? Wouldn't they be closely connected to them? Because they're the main.
It all depends what role Lloyd's would play, though, doesn't it? Because I mean, UK Insurance Limited, it says that they're an underwriter. I don't know who Lloyd's would be.
But aren't they a conglomerate of underwriters anyway?
Yeah, you need to
they would be, Marilyn, because we used to deal with them in. That's why radars came about, because people were doing dodgy stuff with the shipping. They were taking their ships to other ports, pretending that the ships went down, and the ships didn't go down, and Lloyd's were paying for the loss of the ship. And what they did now, what they did with technology is now when the ship goes down, they'll know exactly where it is, so no one can claim for the ship.
Lloyd's have been underwriting for hundreds of years.
Exactly. But they're one of the big ones, if not the
main one.
Yeah, they're one of the.
Just sorry, to do with the insurance. Just a quick thing is like, public liability insurance, right? As every musician, as a musician now, I have to have public liability insurance when I'm going to perform anywhere, and the public liability insurance will cost me about 98 quid. And then when you look at how much it costs, you're insured for like 10 million pounds. Yeah,
that's right.
So and that covers people in your car. I think it covers people in your car. It covers people in your car. It covers people getting electrocuted by you, by your equipment, all kinds of stuff. So if you got that, you got insurance, isn't it?
That's why I was saying, the scenario with the Bentley, that should cover it.
Yeah.
And the damage to his car as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry to interject. If you look into the Road Traffic Act 1988, and you look specifically to section 144, it's exemptions for requirements for third-party insurances or securities. So it's under the Road Traffic Act. So I don't know.
Only Ashley would know that. Only Ashley would bloody.
I'm just reading that. How does it help?
So obviously under the Road Traffic Act, obviously if you go online, they hide certain things on the government website, so you've got to find the original PDFs. So the part that you want to be looking at, I think what everyone's talking about, I think it refers to section 144. Hold on, see if I can post it.
Which
Hold on.
subsection?
I'll just post it now in the chat. 2 seconds. And what they're saying in here is that a deposit has got to be made in the High Courts for, say, if you're not going to insure your car through a third-party insurance. So you would deposit a sum of, let's say, money through an SPV or security through up to the High Court, so that would cover for the cost of your car for damages or any other vehicle when you're driving on the roads or traveling.
And that's in the Road Traffic Act 1984. You're saying
1998. Sorry,
1998.
I posted the link. There we go.
And
posted.
So you can pay a lump sum to the government, whatever that lump sum may be, and that will cover you driving any vehicle, shape, size, or form.
I'm just reading it from the local government, the Road Traffic Act, and what it's stipulating. It says right at the top. It says the Act does not apply to a vehicle owned by a person who has deposited keeps deposited within the account general of the Supreme Court of the sum of 50,000 at the time when the vehicle was being driven under the owner's control. But obviously, there's something within these stipulations of the Road Traffic Act that has some, let's say, remedy for individuals within this group now who are not choosing to have insurance for those for whatever reason, what they don't want to have. But obviously, within the Road Traffic Act, I think those subsections there that you need to look over and study, because there's something within it.
500,000 it's got in here.
Yeah.
That's
Well, if I've got a couple of Lamborghinis, I mean that's fine. But I intend to get us a Lamborghini. But right now, if you got a little, I'm not saying I've got one, but if you got a little Ford Escort, you know what I mean? Like, why are you going to put that kind of money in their hands?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Does that cover public liability? You're only talking about cars here. What about if you knock somebody over? It's got to be public liability as well, right?
I would imagine so. Because the damage you could have caused could be to more than one person or thing, and that's why the sum is quite large, isn't it? To me, that's nothing more than a trust, how a public trust works.
That's right.
How as a beneficiary, you when you're dealing with a public trust, because there's so many people involved, that's why you've got the sort of like the Attorney General, who would be the one that's doing the application through the courts if they had to deal with, I don't know, a bloody issue. But as with a private trust, you're just talking about the individual that's going to the court and making the application for whatever wrong he felt the deeds that was made. It's for me that liability thing's just another bloody trust.
Well, it is a trust, and Drew made the point in the chat that you could probably do a promissory note for that.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
Oh God. I mean, that's all right. That's all right for a damage to a car, but that's the promissory note's not going to mean nothing for someone who's been injured.
No, what I mean is you deposit that with the.
Any company could do their own promissory note, you know, Daniel, believe it or not.
And then they would just indemnify you via the Motor Insurance Bureau, who are the ones that handle settlement for victims where the driver's not got insurance.
So you're saying you can make this payment through the courts to a value of, did you say 50,000 or 500,000?
It's 500,000, but Drew made
half a
a
mil.
point, and I was wondering if you could create a promissory note and deposit that with the Treasury. But you need to be good at bills of exchange, presumably, to draw.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I would.
Right.
I think because with bills as well, Leslie, obviously it comes in Law and Property Act, doesn't it? So negotiation of bills. So you've got to be really on your bill, really on the ball with that one.
Yeah.
It's worth noting though that the Road Traffic Act is saying that a vehicle needs to be insured, not a car.
Yes.
Yeah, so use of motor vehicles to be insured. So if you look at section 143, it states specifically that a person must not use a motor vehicle unless there is enforced in relation to the use of a vehicle. But there's so many subsections within that covers what the group are having discussions about today.
One of the points I'm making, Ashley, so yes, it does say that a person must not use a motor vehicle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Person and vehicle. I'm not a person and I don't have a vehicle, I've got a car.
So how would you get insured then?
Well, maybe you don't need it because it's only saying vehicles need to be insured. Cars don't need to be insured.
Remember, it's a business you're doing business with. So men and women won't ever be insured. Never. It can only be an implied company or another company that can be insured. So that's why, again, when we're talking about the person and the vehicle and this and that.
Like what Ash said, you need to start reading some of those subsections. Just have a full understanding of where they're coming from. So you know how you're going to address your letters and what have you.
I mean, I was injured. Okay, I was injured from an incident that happened a long time ago, and the person that injured me at the end of the day, they went to jail and everything, and I got compensation from the government. You know, there's the government. What do you call it? What do you call it now? Say that again?
Motor Insurers Bureau.
No, it wasn't that. It was actually it was a physical attack. It was a physical attack. So it wasn't nothing to do with vehicles, but victim support or whatever it was. Can't remember what it was, right? But and you know, I got there's a public there's the public side that you can insure for. Obviously you can sue privately or you can sue publicly. When you do it publicly, obviously you've got to jump through hoops, you know, fill out all the forms and everything, and then you get what you get within 3 years. And that money came from somewhere. So I'm just saying, in relation to what we're talking about, if someone was injured, they would actually be remunerated anyway. You know, I mean, I don't know about all the laws and everything else, but I mean, you know, I knew that the fact that I was injured, that there's possibility of being able to actually get some form of compensation for it. So, yeah, I mean, really and truly, there's a law, and there's situations that there's a situation to cover every situation as far as injuries are concerned, and where you can get remunerated. You know, you can get some form of payment for it. That's all my point was.
Isn't that the criminal injuries Fury or something.
That's
like
it. That's it. The criminal injuries. That's right. That's right. Criminal injuries. That's what it was. Yeah. Yeah. You know. So so initially, you know, you can spend hours reading through all that documentation, but at the end of the day, I mean, I've been driving my car for a whole year without insurance. Actually, I thought I'd just let you know that. I'm
going to tell them.
Yeah, don't tell them, will you? But the thing is, it's not like I said, yeah, I'm not going to pay insurance. It's that actually, you know, my situation changed a little bit, and I still wanted to continue driving. So I did, and I have, and I've just been very careful and safe, and you just have to be aware. And so, you know, it's happened from that angle, not from this angle to say, well, okay, you know, let's see how we can, you know, what's the name of the system? No, not that wasn't the intention. But at the same time, I've been driving and everything's been crisp. And actually, you know, my anyway, I'm not going to go any further.
But this is what we're saying, though, Daniel. If you were involved in an accident, right, and you're not insured, and the other person, property or person was injured, they have to get the money from someone. And because you ain't so-called insured, it has to come from somewhere, which is the pool of money that these insurers pull together for these situations.
It means the Motor Insurers Bureau. That's what Leslie just said.
Yeah.
So you're still driving around with your license then? I don't know your name because it says iPhone. So
yeah. Just let's call me. I'm iPhone. That's my name. Yeah, iPhone. Yeah. So
I look at our driving license as SPV, special purpose vehicles, because they're like leasing. They're like leasing you a. I try to look at it from a trust point of view, as we're beneficiaries of their so-called trust within their company. Obviously, to keep that mindset, but at the same time, I try to keep the driving license itself as a special purpose vehicle. If I was to get pulled over by the police, the person was on that special purpose vehicle, I act on its behalf. I'm the representative of it. Obviously, I come forward as a company, my company, or as I come forward as a man or a woman, depending on what status I want to come forward as. But whatever I do, I represent and come forward for that SPV driving license, depending on.
So actually, but if you're going to be producing a driving license that's got a legal fiction name on it, then you've got to comply with all the road traffic laws and all.
Yes, you do. But I'm not complying with it. I'm not complying with it. I'm just coming forward to say I'm a representative of that SPV driving license.
Yeah, but if
what is SPV? Sorry,
and if they're stopped,
special purpose vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if someone doesn't have insurance and they're stopped, then you'll need to obviously be able to get out of it somehow. And the whole point is that you see, it's only the vehicle that needs to be insured. So if you take,
but it's the vehicle that will get impounded, because there was one time I was driving.
And the point I'm saying is that you take the number plates off, and then you put your private plate on.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
It's difficult to get private plates.
It's not.
Made.
You make it own. That's yours.
But then you've got to look at as well. You've got to look at it from another point of the DVLA, the VIN number, and all from your cars are registered with the DVLA. So unless that's, I don't know, deregistered, I'm just putting this out there. I'm not saying this is the process. And then you put your. Go on, Carl. Go on.
Yeah, you file out the V numbers.
Yeah, because you want all that removed from their system. You want all that removed from their from the system to come off their systems. And then once you then put your private plate on, then obviously if anyone then pulls you over, as your private business, as you going about your own business in your own way,
traveling. Yeah,
obviously.
So all you need to do then is to put the DVLA on notice that you're the one that has equitable use of the VIN number and they don't, and because of that. All you need to say is, but I claim my unalienable right in order to travel on this VIN number, and I'm giving you 14 days to rebut that. And of course, they're not going to rebut it.
Okay.
I'm assuming
the main thing to do as well is put in there to ask them for the manufacturing certificate of origin.
That's the one.
I don't think you'll get that.
No, but the thing about it, this is the thing about it. We can't keep saying, "Oh, I'm not going to get that."
I don't think you're going to get that. Yeah.
No, but you see, it doesn't matter if you say that or not.
You've
you've written to them.
And you're requesting it.
You've got that in a registered, lettered mail, gone to them, saying to them, return my property.
The thing I'm saying though, Carl, but I don't think it matters who's got the MCO.
It does, because, well, I mean, like, it does really, because that's the title deed of the car. As long as you've got that title deed, it's like the house. You've got a title deed to the house, it's like the company. You've got the title deed to the company. You are the original only person with significant control that can do anything.
But I've been told that I've been told by 3 people that have actually contacted the DVLA saying that they want the MCO and they won't return it. And somebody said that they were going to be travelling abroad, so therefore they need to register the car abroad. The DVLA told them to send details of where they're travelling to, or where they're emigrating to, and then they would send the MCO to Spain, France, wherever you're going.
Right. So that's the thing about it. So they're saying basically that they're keeping in their system. So you are not in their system, because the thing about it, how they've got it on the V5 is that they've got your name in capital letters. So it's still the implied company that the vehicle is registered to. It's an implied company. It's not registered to a man or a woman. If you look at your
wrong, Carl, but I'm saying to deregister it. Yes, I'm saying to deregister the vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then in a separate notice, but you will put them on notice and you will claim the equitable use of the VIN number. And if you do that, give them 14 days. Of course, they're not going to rebut it. Then all you need to do is to take off the registration plates, send it back to them, or just dispose of it, whatever. And then if you put your own plates on.
Yeah, no, totally. I totally agree with you. But
and ask a question. What would you put on? No, what would you put on the plates, Carl? What would you put?
Sorry, Daniel. Sorry, Daniel.
Sorry, go on. Sorry, go on.
Yes, Michael, I totally agree with you. But what I'm adding to your letter is to say to them, because you're asking them and you're rebutting and whatever, and you're deregistering. So you're just saying, look, here's your property back. You're giving them back their property. You're just asking them to return your property. That's it.
Yeah.
Your property would be the manufacturing certificate of origin. That's what your property would be, because that's what you paid for. You paid for the car. You didn't pay for a registration license plate, which is a vehicle. You didn't pay.
Do you know if anyone's ever got that back?
Sorry, Daniel. Sorry, Daniel. When you went into the car showroom, you looked at the car, or you looked at the bike. You didn't look at a registration plate. If you knew that you was buying a registration plate, you wouldn't have bought it.
But the thing is, though, but I do know someone. I think I seem to know quite a few people, don't I? But I know somebody that's that he purchased a brand new BMW last week, and he said that he doesn't want the MCO to be sent to the DVLA. The showroom told him that they have to send it, and that's their policy.
Well, don't buy the car.
Of course, they're going to say that.
Well, don't buy the car. Don't buy the car.
How is he making payment for the car?
Promissory note.
He was paying, and they were taking a promissory note from him.
Well, no, but they haven't done it yet. So, I mean, the car could have been delivered.
Can someone turn off their mic, please?
So, basically, turn off everyone's mic, please.
Daniel. By the way, apparently we know somebody who will make up number plates for you, because I know that if you go to Halfords or somewhere like that, they'll say they can't do it. It's illegal not to do it in the same format that that the government says you. But we know somebody.
I've got my one done at the airfield airfield market.
There's someone that got it done online as well, but I'll send the link to the group.
Yeah, I've got my one done up there if anybody needs one.
Yeah.
I've got what I was saying now.
You were saying about a promissory note. You're saying the guy's going to pay for the car with a promissory note.
That's right. Yes. So, I mean, the car should have been delivered on the 31st of March, but I haven't spoken to him since. So, I mean, I was planning on calling him this weekend to see what's, but see whether the car's been delivered. And of course, if the car hasn't been delivered, then he'll be taking them to court because he's paid for something using cash. I mean, because the promissory note is effectively cash, according to what Lord Denning said. So, but he's paid for the car using cash, and he said that he would take them to court because they've got his property. So, to be honest, I didn't expect him to get the car. but I expect that he is going to have to take it to court. So, and he's going to do a partake claim against them.
I must admit, when I bought my car, and I bought it new, they wouldn't allow me to take the car without sending off the
MCO.
Yeah, they said I couldn't have the car.
That's right. That's right.
But that's what I'm saying, Kat. It depends how you make payment. If you make payment in fiat currency, you've agreed to their system. So that's why they would send the MCO off to DVA.
What do you mean? I didn't pay for it cash.
Say that again?
I didn't pay for it cash. What do you mean if you make payment?
Well, how did you make payment then?
No, you put a deposit down in it and then you pay it bit by bit. Oh, okay. For the loan company or whatever would have made payment on my behalf.
Yeah, in fiat currency.
Yeah.
Regardless of what, they're not. That's the law. That's in their memos. That's in everything. They're never gonna release the car because they're so-called law-abiding citizens, and that's part of the law of their,
That's how they operate their business.
That's how they operate their business. Basically.
They're fraud-abiding citizens. That's what they are.
Yeah.
So they're never going to do that. So you still have to go through the process, whatever it is you're going to go through.
Can I just quickly ask something, or just put it out there? I wonder if someone was buying a car or had the money to buy a brand new car and actually went to the manufacturers itself and bought the car from the manufacturers, or try and buy a car from the manufacturers.
No, that's an idea.
I'm just putting it out there. I don't know.
Yeah, you can do.
That's an idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because I was just thinking about if they've
I missed that because my screen froze.
Sorry.
No, she.
I was just putting it out there, Fabian.
Could you say it again? I missed it, Jackie. Sorry.
I said I was just thinking about if car showrooms have to send the manufacturer of origin note to DVLA, why putting it out there, just why can't even if we're thinking about if not, actually write to the manufacturers and buy it direct from the manufacturers.
Well, I wrote to Honda. I wrote to Honda.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on though. I do remember what's that place in Denmark? Aarhus. I know that there were a couple of guys that purchased cars directly from Denmark, but that was about 15 to 20 years ago, before I was even awake. So, and I can't remember the process then. The reason why they bought it abroad is because they didn't have to pay things like import duty and whatever. So they were able to get away.
Just drink it. It's not going to do nothing to you.
Sorry?
You still have to register in the country, and then you transfer the registration over. You don't escape that registration that way.
Oh, okay.
Tax avoidance.
I can't see how you can get MCO, to be honest, but as make them aware that belongs to you and you're fully. You just got.
But I'm just saying, if you went to the company direct and bought a car from like BMW or Audi, and say
absolutely,
your company, you want to start buying cars and you want to buy one car for now or whatever, and see what they say, see what the method is. Because
I think you'd get it cheaper as well. I think there's a lot of perks in that. That's actually a really brilliant idea. When I go to buy a new car, it's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go directly to the company. You probably have to go to Denmark or Germany or whatever and do it there.
But I mean, the thing is, we can mostly put.
They're not I don't think they'll be taking that on tick.
No, but we can.
Not on tick. No, cash.
Not on tick. But I'm just thinking whether it might be an area that we could approach or look at to actually write to maybe a manufacturing company.
Yeah, I wrote to Honda. I wrote to Honda for my bike, basically. And
yeah, but not for But you had your bike. I'm not saying that you're going to buy a brand new car.
No, but what I'm saying to you, they if you buy it, they should do. That's the thing about it, because when I wrote to Honda, I said to them, can they send me a replacement copy of the manufacturing certificate and I gave them a sachet number and details, and they just say they write back to you, but they'll write a letter of conformity or something like that. I think
a certificate of conformity.
Yeah, something like that. So they just write that back to you and say, yeah, that's it really. So they don't really give it to you. But again, but the thing is, your bike would have been registered. Your bike would have already come to the country, been at a showroom. So yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Because I asked the showroom guys as well. I said, well, where's the original manufacturing certificate?
But what I'm trying to say is kind of push out the showroom, go direct to the manufacturers to say that you want to buy a new car, you want to buy a brand new bike, or
You
know what I
can.
mean? And see what the feedback is there. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
you-
trying.
Well, no, that's interesting, Jackie. That is, it's something worth pursuing, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, you could say that you're going to pay with a promise. Well, of course, you're not going to tell them that, but you could get them to send you the invoice, and when they send the invoice, then you can try to pay with a promissory note, which is what this chap's doing that I know of.
Okay.
Carl, I was just thinking with Honda, you could write back to them and say that you require a copy of the original MCO because it's your data. Because if you think about it, that'll have the VIN number on it.
Yeah.
And that's now attached to your name at
That's it.
DVLA, so you could use data protection and force them.
Yeah.
Right, and if they don't comply with it, you
Yeah,
get
knock
then
them.
data blocking.
Yeah.
And it's even better. It's even better.
Yeah.
Criminal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It always comes back to this data protection act.
This is it,
It's so
always.
powerful.
And contract law as well. Very, very important. Contract law.
Of course.
Study
Talk about
contract
that
law.
letter now, because Ashley's on now, so we could talk about that letter that Michael showed us regarding.
What's that, Caroline?
Do you remember you posted up a letter?
Oh, and the council tax.
That's right.
The
Yes.
scam.
Yes.
Oh,
So I was-
yeah. I was just about to get a drink. Carry on talking, but I'll just get a drink and come straight back.
I'll get a drink then, mate.
You're the one. You're the one that posted it up, so we wanted to discuss it because Ashley came up with a very salient point, didn't you, Ashley? That rather than sending it to, is it the CEO or something like that, we needed to do it to the DPO.
Data protection officer, yeah. So you
Yeah.
write to.
But Michael's just gone to get a drink, so he's not here to give us his viewpoint. Do you remember the letter?
Yeah. I took a copy of it.
Yeah, Carl. Do you remember the letter?
No, I don't remember it.
Did you not see it? Oh,
No.
it was this week. It was something that was done in 2013, right? Is that right, Leslie?
2015, I think. Yeah.
2015. Michael actually says he knows the guy who wrote it as well.
Sorry, what was the letter about?
Oh, it was about the Finance Act, wasn't it? Was it the Finance Act, 1992?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's where they refer to dwellings under the was it the word retirement? Is that the word?
Hereditament.
That's the word, Leslie. Yeah.
I don't know how you say it.
Can't get me words out today.
Get your teeth
But if you look within that subsection, they're just arguing that particular point of the meaning of dwelling and the basis of it, which is a good point to raise with the council.
Mm.
But,
Yeah.
you
But
know, can it have worked? Because this is 5 years old. If it had worked, surely everyone would be doing it.
I think you.
Go ahead.
I think you can use it, Leslie. I think, but you've just got to enhance it into what we've learned in the last 5 years. So you
Right.
could make reference to it
Yeah.
because it has a good valid point, but you would have to put some other clauses within there with your argument with the council.
Yeah.
Like I said, Michael says he knows the guy who wrote it, so that's why I wanted him on.
Right.
Which would make sense. But it's gone for a drink.
Sorry, I don't understand what the letter was actually about. I missed the point.
I'm looking for it now. I definitely copied it. I can't find it.
Let me have a look.
Carl, you'll need to switch on screen sharing under the security tab.
What's that? Optimize screen share for video.
If you allow participants to screen share, it's the top tick on that
Well, you-
security tab.
No, you can actually specifically you can make a particular person share their screen, a specific person.
I can't find it.
Is it a Zoom you're on? Is
Is it on security? Yeah.
Security.
Share screen.
Yeah, and make sure that all the boxes are ticked.
Okay. Yeah, they're all ticked.
That's all right then. That should work.
Is that all right now?
Every box.
Everything.
Share screen, chat, rename, and unmute.
But I'm struggling to find it.
But the interesting thing with this is that.
Michael, do you have the letter? Because we can't find it. We were looking
Oh
for it.
yeah. I'll put it in the group.
Oh, yeah, because can you screen share it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Maybe I can. I don't know. I might not have permission to.
Yeah,
Just giving you permission.
I'll put multiple participants can share simultaneously and security of share screen. Yeah. Yeah.
Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, it looks like it's a template of some sort. So, but I don't know who did it. But I mean, I've been looking.
You said you knew the guy who did it.
No.
I think I do, Caroline, because he's in another group.
Sorry, yes, it was you. Sorry. Yeah.
I haven't spoken to him about it because I know that he's working on a different process with council tax now. So that made me think, well, maybe this didn't work.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, I've heard this argument before, but never seen it out, you know? So.
Well, the thing is, but the way that he's done it, but he's actually put the contents of what you'd put in the letter to them. So you'd basically start the letter here. But it has come to our attention through the research of many diligent men and women. Of course, you can change the wording.
Yeah.
But the idea is that you could, say, strip out bits of the text like that there. Yeah. And then, but the thing he's done, but he's gone to explain the meanings of the word. So it basically hinges on the definition of dwelling, a word called hereditament, and domestic property, but it mentions something like composite dwelling as well. But I mean, if you read down, he's basically explained everything here. But I've been going through the acts as well, the particular sections he's been talking about. So this is the Local Government Finance Act of 92. And I've gone through and it's virtually the same as what he's got in here. So, but I'd like to know why he's changing direction on this, Leslie.
I probably need to ask him. I didn't want to appear silly. That was all. My ego got in the way.
Because it sort of looks okay what he's saying.
Yeah.
Because it's basically saying that it's only a dwelling that you have to pay council tax for, which makes sense.
I mean, it might be that there's been case law since then that has fucked this up, you know.
Leslie.
Well, sorry.
But even still though, Leslie, but it hinges on the definitions that they're using. But there was something, it says the Secretary of State may, by order, amend any definition of dwelling. Yeah.
Right.
But the time that this article was written, it has not been amended.
So it might have been amended since. Maybe that loophole's been closed by the Secretary of State making a regulation.
I know this isn't something that you would talk about normally, Carl, because you've probably got another way around this whole council tax thing, have you? Apart from saying you have no contract with us.
Yeah, basically, I mean, like the thing about it, you've got to find out firstly who they're writing to, and do you want to play a part in that?
Well, as I said with my one, they're writing to the implied company, care of the limited company. That's how they're writing to me.
Yeah, of course.
But it's a property that's subject to council tax.
There's still no woman. If they're writing to the implied company, there still is who is the implied company.
But it's a property that's subject to council tax in this case.
Yeah.
Oh, what in this letter here you're talking about?
Well, no, but in the act I saw it somewhere a couple of months ago. I can't remember.
But it can't be the property. It has to be somebody paying it.
No, but the property is subject to council tax.
Yeah, well, the property can pay it then.
Where did it say? I've definitely seen it somewhere, Carl. I can't remember exactly where.
Yeah, it's about properties that would have been on the rateable value list or something at some date in the past, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the General Rate Act of 1967.
Yeah, something like that. And then they focus on who the liable person is. Go to contents. You cancel
contents of this act.
Yeah, table of contents.
Chargeable dwelling.
That's it. Yeah.
Council tax shall be payable in respect of any dwelling which is not an exempt dwelling.
Right.
Chargeable dwelling means that. Exempt dwelling means any dwelling of a class prescribed by an order made by the Secretary of State. So unless you've received something from the Secretary of State, then all dwellings have to pay council tax because they're all chargeable dwellings. And that being the case,
Michael, can you just go back to the table of contents again 1 second, please? And then can you just click on the introductory text at the top?
I mean, they're playing on the definitions, though, aren't they? But if you look at what this guy's saying in this document, they're basically playing on the fact that they've put the word dwelling in there, and people are getting confused, thinking a dwelling is a private domestic property. As you can see here, up until now, you may have noticed no mention of private domestic property being liable for rating or council tax.
See, the thing about it, what I get from this, when I was looking back at it years ago as well, most of the people back in the day.
Carry on, Carl. Sorry.
Yeah, no, back in the day when they was bringing this up, like John Harrison, all them lot as well, it came out of the squatters' rights. Because if you take out squatters' rights.
What did?
The dwellings.
Okay.
That's where all the dwellings came about. When people started talking about dwellings and started putting that in their letters and stuff, it came out of what people were doing when they was doing the squatters' rights.
Yeah, but
so it built on top of dwellings built on top of the squatters' rights when they was looking at the squatters' rights, because the squatters' rights, you could have a property and claim it under squatters' rights.
After X amount of
in
years.
this case, though, Carl, I think look. So he's basically trying to examine their definition of dwelling.
Yeah.
The Act. So if council tax is only payable on a chargeable dwelling, and it says that you can
the question
dwelling.
I know, but the question that I keep coming back to is that you keep saying it's chargeable. Yeah. So who's paying the charge?
Well, obviously, it's a person, isn't it?
Right. No, but that's what I'm saying. So who's paying the charge?
Nobody.
No.
Is it a man or a woman?
Who's paying the charge? It goes.
Or is it an implied company? Who's paying the charge?
Company.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just if you look within the Local Government 19, I think it's the Local Government Act 1888.
1988, you mean, actually?
Sorry, 8088. Local Government, I think it's 1988, that one. I'll get it up and I'll post it in the chat. There's specifically points within there that refers to them not being able to act in the capacity of courts when they're doing it for their liabilities. There's certain parts within the 1988 regulation where it specifically states that all liabilities remain with the council.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And if you look within
1988.
Yeah, if you look within, if you actually do look within the council's policies, my council policies, there's a part within it that refers to set-offs within debts. Actually, specifically states that the council are they're the one with the debt. They're just trying to push that onto you.
That's the one.
But you've got to you've literally got to go through all their documents, make reference to the Local Governments Act, when they're writing to you and pointing this out to them. But the only way I think you can do this really is through data protection to really get them on the back foot. But
where does it say then, Ashley? I mean, the 1988 Act. So this is the 1988.
It's the Municipal Corporations Act of 1888 or 1882.
Oh, municipal.
Yeah, Corporations Act. It's what kicked off local government in the form.
I'll get it. I'll send it over to you now. Hold on.
Look at the title already. Municipal Corporation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they all act under. Yeah.
80, yeah, something like that.
No.
All right, 18 something. 1872. Ash, help.
Hold on, I've got it on my phone. Hold on.
Just put it in without a year.
1882, 83.
Right.
Which one?
Don't know. Try 82. 82. And think 72 deals, or 92 deals with them. Here we go. Corporate property and liabilities.
What we're looking for, Leslie?
Well, there's a one of the sections talks about all the liabilities of the inhabitants being the responsibility of the corporation.
It looks like
I've got it on. I've got it on.
Quite a lot of it's been amended. Here we are. It might have been repealed, though. Quite a lot of this could have been repealed. Look,
no, it's not. It still applies to them.
Repealed. Yeah.
Never gets. It still applies.
Try 70 something. Try that 72, 75.
Well, no, it's.
Yes, try that one. Try 72, 75.
There we go. I've got it.
Which one is it?
Look.
I've got the Local Government Act one, the 8088 one, the original PDF, which is the one they don't want you to have.
Oh, which one's that? Sorry, Ashley.
Can you share it, Ash?
Yeah, I'm just going to share it now. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm just going to.
But I'll stop sharing.
Hold on, Leslie. If I just post it in the chat.
Yeah, my mouse batteries have just gone. So, Ashley,
section, yeah, it's section 78 and section 4 of the Local Government of that 88 Act. So the section 78 refers to them doing their business and them not having powers to act as court of records. and Section 4 specifically states to them actually having all liability.
Yeah, what page, Ashley?
Section 4. Yeah, so Section 4 of the.
What page?
Hold on. Go up. It'll be next one down. The next one down. Number 3, number 4. I need to look at. Keep going. 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 There it is. Where it appears, the local government board that any powers, duties, or liabilities, and any court of session justices, blah blah blah, are transferred to the county council. So what it's basically stating there is that all liabilities remain with them. That's the subsection that you refer to. But then you've got to get their constitution, which is online, and you will find the specific part which refers to this number 4 part. But you're just bringing the two together.
That's it. And then they're trying to pass that on to us as implied companies.
That's right. Yeah. So if you have it, that's number 4. That's one of them. And Section 78 is the part where, say, for instance, they say they got, so where they refer to a liability order.
Yeah, find that one.
So if you go down to 78.
How did you find this, Ash?
Years of studying, Leslie. It's just in your brain.
That's what it is.
No, in terms of this version of it.
There it is.
This one isn't.
Graham, my Graham's always taught me, my uncle, never go off the internet. The internet's there for you, but don't go off the government websites. He goes, you've got to use the old search engines to find the original PDFs, which are the ones they don't want you to see. So it would be like the old document with, because they take some subsections out. So if you were to go and look online for this Local Government Act, all of it's been taken out because they don't want you to see certain clauses. It's like the Local Government Finance Act 1992. If you get the original PDF of that, you understand everything's referring to corporation. But they took all that out because they don't want you to see that.
Because everything's company, everything's contract between corporations.
But it does bring in under what Leslie said, under the municipal corporations as well, because it originates from that.
That's it.
Originally, it originates from that.
Right, so there's Section 78 then, Ashley. So what were you referring to there?
The part that I'm referring to is the constructions of acts referring to businesses transferred, subsection 2, provided that the transfer of powers and duties enacted by this act shall not authorise any county council or any committee or member thereof, A, to exercise any of the powers of court of record. Bang. B,
you remember it.
B, to administer an oath, or C, to exercise any jurisdiction under the summary jurisdiction acts or perform in a judicial business.
So what's this telling us in English then? Provided that the transfer of powers and duties enacted by this act shall not authorise any county council or any committee or member thereof to exercise.
So if you say the council say they got a liability order, that's you could use that clause within that subsection, but also within the GDPR you've got a part that says about competence. I think it's section 50, article 53 or 55. Don't quote me, you'll have to look up and double check for yourselves. And then it refers to this subsection here about councils or them not having the jurisdiction to act in a capacity of court record for a liability, alleged liability.
Well, technically, Ashley, do they not get around that by not doing it in a court of record? They don't do it in a court of record, do they?
What's that, sorry?
The liability orders aren't actually carried out in a court of record.
I know, yeah, we know that, but I'm just saying for an argument's sake, when you're presenting yourself, because they're claiming that they've got some liability order, you can easily ring up the courts or anyone and say, or do a DSAR, and they say they haven't got any of that information on file. You go back to them, and then you also quote this subsection to them. And also referring to the GDPR as well, competence, because it's all in there. You can't have it both ways, as I see it.
Yeah. So you kind of prove that they've lied, or you prove
that
they weren't allowed to do that in the first place. Right.
That's right, yeah. Because all you're doing is asking questions. You're not pointing the fingers, you're just asking questions, aren't you?
And that's it. You have to just ask questions. Let them hang themselves.
And this is still enforced as well, is it, Ashley?
That's correct, yeah.
So that's something to add to.
The thing about it, yes, it's enforced, but we've got to still take into consideration that all the legislation and statutes only apply to companies.
Yeah.
They don't apply to men and women. So if you want to agree to be the implied company, then
Yep.
it's going to apply to you.
Nice find, Ash.
Yeah, I like that.
But that fund left everybody speechless. Nice one, Ashley.
But I'm still curious as to know what the problem is with this, though, Leslie.
What's that?
Can I let me interject on this one as well, just so we can just finalize it, right? It's just words, right? I'm going to use my mum as an example. My mum's someone who's on benefits, right? Under the Social Security Act, I could be really petty with the council, and I've done this when I started in 2016. The word non-dependent. Now, if you look under the Social Security Act 1992, it says the meaning of a non-dependent is someone who depends on someone. And within that subsection of the Social Security Act, it basically states that if you're a dependent, that you can't pay council tax. It basically stipulates that within there because you're dependent on someone. So I use that argument with the council, and it's the same argument with this, with dwelling, the word dwelling and the word, what's the word, retirement? I can't pronounce it.
Hereditament.
Yes, that. So it's the same thing. It's semantics with words. What we're bringing to the council, they're just going to ignore it. They're going to just be like, whatever. Do you know what I mean? What you want to show is their intent, fake liability orders, and you can use those things against them with asking the questions. Am I obligated? Can you show me where within the Local Government Finance Act where it says that we've got to pay council tax? Can you show me that specific section where it says a person, use their terminology, a person or whatever their term they're using, or a dwelling or whatever, show specifically within the act. So you're being very specific.
Well, no, but I've just said that though, but you can see it there, Ashley. That's a problem. It is here. It says every property must, where is it?
I know, but if you look at the definition within that, it's totally different. So that, even though it says that within that part that you're raising up, you're raising a good point, but when it goes to the part of the meaning of a dwelling, it then shoots that in the water of what they're trying to require from you.
It's funny. I was actually going to mention that about the word dwelling, because dwelling has been used quite a lot in our conversation, and you know, there's different meanings of what it means, and I guess in different languages, even, you know, that we speak, that we just use to converse. So, you know.
And that's why they define it, you see. So it's their definition that you need to go on. And even according to their definitions, a private property, and according to this, a private property is not a dwelling, according to this.
There you go, you see.
And that's what we need to throw it there. But Ashley's saying not to use this. Did you say?
No, I'm not. No. The point I'm trying to raise out is with words. You can point this up, which is fine. But the point I just tried to raise earlier is I've already been raising issues with the council in a different matter regarding the social security.
Okay.
And the meaning of the word non-dependent. It's the same argument that you're using with this, with the word. So that's why I'm just saying it's like semantics, because the council just won't accept that argument.
It doesn't matter whether the council accept it, but they've got to, got to prove you wrong. And then if it goes to court, but then the court is going to go on the definition, but you can hold them to that.
Yeah,
the only time you can.
But in the most places of court, especially the county courts, it's not a court case that's been properly a court of record, let's say, for council tax.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So when you're trying to argue that within there, I don't think you're not going to be heard properly because you're not in the right jurisdiction for starters.
So if that's the case, just go back to what Carl's saying. Who's got to pay it?
The dwelling or the person?
Well,
the thing about it, it's the same thing over and over. I mean, like, as much as Ashley's saying, as much as you say, Michael and myself and everybody else, the thing about it, I don't think anybody's actually really put forward and asked questions. That's what we're lacking in doing, is asking these questions. Because even though we sent I have to keep pointing out, even though they might not respond or anything to us, at least we've got a log of it for ourselves that we can say, look, we're a company, we're just putting our paperwork together so we know X, Y, Z. Because if they're going to be coming after this capital letter name and they're asking that capital letter name to pay, then who is that? So it always comes back to that as well. We just got to keep asking them the questions, but make sure when we ask the question, we're just keeping a log of it for ourselves. So if they do want to take us to court, we can say, well, look, we've asked you the questions many times already. Please explain this. And they can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because all of this, all the legal statutes, it only it applies to the name that's going to be written in capital letters. I mean, like that's why I asked you to go back to the table of contents, because on the local government website, when you see it, they'll have the writing, and then it says here, it says about to be enacted by Her Queen, and to be enacted is written in capital letters, so that's not even there, and they've made that deliberate. Because it's not to be because it's not enacted to the Queen's whatever. It's like here, they've got this one here, but this is the only thing on this page. All that section there at the bottom is in a box. Nothing's there. So after 6th of March, that little there, be it enacted by the Queen's Most Elected Majesty, blah, 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 blah. There's nothing to be enacted because there's nothing on the page there. But when you see it on the top of other pages, it says it at the top. When it's got all other texts on different pages, you'll see it at the top sometimes, and it'll be all in capital letters, to be enacted or whatever. It's just, I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like, it's just, it's language. Language is the most important thing in my book now, seriously, because they're aiding and abetting in a crime.
Yeah.
They are aiding and abetting in a crime.
Well, they're trying to coerce you. They're also trying to coerce us as well, aren't they? That's the thing.
Of course, it's all coercion. They're trying to coerce you to take responsibility that's something for you don't even own.
Yeah.
They're telling you to take responsibility and liability for an implied company. If it's not an implied company, is it a trust, as Leslie says in the capital letter name? If it's not, then what language is it written in? That's the only thing we should be questioning. Well, that's the only thing I'm questioning them on. So everything else is irrelevant to me in a certain sense. Because if they do come knocking at the door and they come asking for Carmichael, I'm just going to say, yeah, Carmichael Limited is at this location, but who are you looking for in the company? Because, and then you
point. Carl, when you write that when you write that letter where you're saying that you're the limited company and not the, like, obviously not that name, are you then signing it as that name?
No, you sign it as, well, you put your name down as your Christian name. Because remember, the full name is a legal name in the legal book. In the Black's Law Dictionary or Bouvier's or whatever, legal name is the Christian name and the surname. Now, if I'm taking charge of the legal name, which is a company name, that's the full name, the Christian and the surname, I'm taking charge of that and making that a limited company. But me, as the Christian, I'm the creditor. So I can only be the Christian name, Carmichael.
Right. So you're signing at the bottom of the letter. So at the bottom of the letter, you're writing Carmichael and then putting director off.
That's it.
And then putting the name of the limited company.
No, you just put, Carmichael, sign it, Carmichael Director. That's it.
This is what I was asking you earlier on, Carl. How do you sign off at the bottom?
All you sign it as your creditor name.
Christian name,
your Christian name.
That's
because what they're doing. Okay, every letter you get coming through your door, it doesn't matter who it's from, it's always going to be addressed to the legal name. It's never going to be addressed to your Christian name alone.
Yeah.
It's always going to be addressed to your legal name. So from the day you get any letter coming from your door, by the time you open it, even if it was written in uppercase and lowercase and it's the full legal name, you're still contracting because you're opening up a legal name. It's the legal name's not you. You're the Christian name. You're the creditor. You're not the debtor. The debtor is the legal name. That's the full name. That's the surname and the Christian name together.
Yeah.
So when you take ownership and you claim that name, That's the name they're always writing down and looking for. So you've made that a company now because you understand the contract law, that contracts can only be made between the two companies. Once you take the power of that away from them doing contracts with that company, as implied at that as well, then you're just acting as the creditor, the Christian, Carl Michael, to come forward and say, well, look, I'm the director of that company.
But what if, Carl, if you do by accommodation or if you actually say as authorized agent, you're not, are you really contracting?
No. But you're just no, but that's what I'm saying. You're the authorized agent. If you write down, if you're writing down,
I use my Christian name and I always put authorized agent beside it. So even though I'm replying to the letter,
you're only replying on behalf of, because you're the authorized agent of that company.
Because that's what I do from now on any menial, silly letter that I might get, that's how I respond to it.
Yeah.
As authorized.
Always respond like you were responding from your company. Because that's what we're doing. We have to respond as though we are responding from our company desk. When we're responding, we're at home in the comfort of our own home, and we forget that we're at work. We're at work 24/7, man. We're at work right now, but we don't realize it. Right. You see, you're always working. That's the thing about it. You're the source of energy. You're the current. So now you take charge of what that work consists of, and you organize and time manage it. That's the limited company. You're the director of that limited company. You want to go to work 5 days a week, you go work 5 days a week. Other than that.
Hang on then. So if you're, but you've just said something there, which is quite a good point, Carl. If you're always working because you're the energy that provides the source for the legal fiction, the legal fiction is Crown copyright, so it's owned by the Crown.
There you go.
If you're working for the Crown, every workman's worthy of his hire. So you should be paid.
Yeah, of course. But that's the thing about it. But what they've done, they've conned us and scammed us into this legal name, and they've Crown copyrighted the legal name. Because remember, on the birth notification form, you've only got the Christian name and you've got the surname, which are in separate individual positions. When they take that and put them together, they've illegally, well, they haven't illegally, because they've done it without our awareness. But now we know it, we can ask them to provide that and how they've done that. That's why when Aaron was on the other week and he showed us the world passport, he said he put his name and he put the and as well.
Yeah.
Because then it's shown joinder between the Christian name and the surname. So there was two separate things he was pointing out there. But again, we should, again, as Ashley's saying, asking the questions, even though we can look at the legal side of things, we can add that to the questions we are asking when we're asking them to prove who they're actually looking for. Are they looking for a company? And what's the name? What's the language? Blah, blah, blah. If they don't answer, they create the estoppel, because they're stopping the process from moving forward, because they're not giving you the answers you need to process and progress with it. It is, it's I don't know what to say really, but yeah, it all boils, everything we're doing, it all boils down to us not knowing. You go to your bank, man, ask them, is this a retail account? They would tell you your personal account is actually a retail account. It means business. So when you see your name on your bank card and your name's in capital letters, it's an implied business. That's not your account.
Can I just say also with a bank account that also you are actually an investor. You think that you are a customer. You know what I mean? You're actually an investor because they take your money and invest it.
Of course.
You know, that's why you get a free bank account. Why do you get a free current account?
Yeah. Well, you could look at it like you're a beneficiary as well.
That's it.
Yes. Well, if you're an investor, you're definitely benefiting. So you're a beneficiary. Yeah.
But
we're not benefiting though. That's what the thing is. Yeah.
But worse still though, but you are an authorized representative. But when you used to receive a checkbook, but if you actually get a magnifying glass and look at the line that you sign on, that actually said authorized signature. Representative.
Yeah, it says, yeah.
What you are in fact is not a customer, you are a banker.
That's it.
You're an agent of the bank.
It says that within the bills of exchange as well.
Yep.
But
you're an agent of the bank.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's
you're
why
an agent.
Yeah.
And as an agent, what is your jurisdiction? What is
no? But a thing about it,
you're working for the bank, aren't you?
Daniel,
what's your capacity?
Daniel, but an agent is an artificial person.
Right. That's what I'm trying to get at.
But that's it. So an artificial person will be a corporation. So you're written down as a capital letter worded name as an implied corporation. So you're an agent. But
that might explain why the bank can take your information and do whatever they want with it.
Yeah, because
they can obviously securitize your agreements because you work for them anyway.
Yeah, but it's not your account. They make the number account.
Fictions account, yeah.
Yeah, no, they make it's their account. They made the account number for you. When you take this is what I keep saying. When this all lockdown is over and we can get to the bank and open up a business bank account, and you take that account, you take that registration company number, that will become your account number. That's what the bank manager's saying. So you give them the account number. They don't give you an account number. When you take out your card now, that account number, the bank made that company number up for you. You didn't give them that number. When you go and you open up your limited company, you give them the account number. Now they have to take from your assets.
If this assets thing, which some people were pursuing before, and there's other people that are saying that that it doesn't exist. I don't want to go back into that again.
Right? No, but the thing about you, that's what I'm saying. We're not at them. I'm not paying attention to the treasury account or whatever there is. I'm not paying attention to any of that. CES3K. I'm not paying attention to any of that. What I'm paying attention to is that how if all of us, for example, knew that, well, we know that we're limited companies and we've got our limited companies or whatever. Now, if we know that they're chasing after an implied company and they don't have a contract if they've got a contract with the implied company with no director behind it, then they're just going to be chasing a ghost. They're going to go broke because nobody's going to agree to their scam anymore. It's just another scam. That's all it is. It's another scam, but it's done by a 1%er cartel, which some people call Freemasons, Illuminati, Skull and Bones, Majestic 12, whatever. It's just another scam. They're scamming us, man. That's it. They're hustling us. They're hustlers, man. We're hustlers. They're hustlers. I'm just saying, right, let's stop the hustle. Let's go real. They can't go real. I'm going truthful. I'm being honest. I'm saying, look, I see this just from my education that this is grammatically incorrect. I've even gone and spoke to English teachers at schools and asked them, please explain this to me. And they say it's grammatically incorrect. It can't happen in grammar. And I even turn around and say to them, well, look at your bank card and tell me that's correct. And their mouth drop. I don't go any further, but I just need to get the understanding from a teacher of English. Is this grammatically correct or not? Now, if I can take a teacher into the courtroom, and most teachers will go into the courtroom and say, that's grammatically incorrect. Game over. You're not writing English. You're writing an acronym. There's nothing they can do. We've just got to put the question forward to them, know that we've made a recorded account of us asking them the questions. So if they do try and chase after an implied company, we can say, well, hold up a minute. I've been writing to you, asking you these questions, but you're not answering anything. We give them the hot potato. Give them the hot potato, man. That's all I can say, really. It's just the same thing over and over. We have to ask the question when nobody's asking these kind of questions. Nobody has asked these kind of questions. A year ago, nobody knew about buying yourself as a limited company in a certain respect. And I'm not trying to big myself up and saying that, but it's only been a year. And a lot of us have come far because a lot of you guys are speaking the way we're speaking now and just knowing that piece of truth. It's truth. I'm just trying to get to the truth. I don't care what else is out there. I'm trying to get to the truth. I'm an honest guy. I might look like a roughneck. I might have a gold tooth. I look like I smoke weed, but I'm a cool guy. Do you know what I mean? I'm a nice guy. That's it. I'm a truthful, honest guy. My father and mother brought me up proper. Done. People who know me know I'm a cool guy. And I'm not a troublemaker or nothing. I'm just honest. And I expect that from the authorities at that.
That's right. Well, they're the last ones you're going to get the truth from.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But if I'm putting, if I can let the truth. No, but they do know. No, the thing, the authority don't know the truth. The men and women within the authority will know the truth.
All of them don't, Carl.
No, but no. But the thing about it is because
it's just the 1% that know the truth. It's the 1% guiding.
Yes, it's the 1% that know the truth on what they want to know. But we all know language. We all know we can pick up the English grammar dictionary and look up the word acronym. We can do that.
Now, the 1% have the access to the truth. Not all
I don't care. I don't care about the 1% because that's the truth.
Yeah, no, that 100%. I totally agree with that.
Truth.
But it's
also what you're talking. They can't argue with this. If you take these books into a courtroom, they cannot argue. You win hands down.
100%. But not everybody knows that information. That's the thing.
I'm not saying everybody. There's 18 people on this talk. We all know this.
Yeah.
There's 18 people on here. We all know this. This is facts. I don't deal with illusions. I deal with facts. I don't talk if I don't talk facts. I talk facts because I know I have to get my shit correct. Because if I'm talking to you lot and you lot start doing it, I don't want to get any of you fucked over. So I know that I'm doing it correct in that certain sense because I'm not bringing no trouble to my father's doorstep because I still live with my dad and my mum, but my mum passed, but I live with my family here. I don't get no letters coming to me, but I deal with facts. If there's any policeman there or anything else, I deal with facts. Come on, let's talk facts. Can you talk facts to me? That's all I'm asking you to do. Be honest and truthful with me and let's talk facts, man to man or man to woman. That's it. Let's talk facts. Drop the uniform, drop the authority, and let's just have a general conversation between a man and a man. Let's drop the fear. I'm not on that side. You're not on that side. We're two men or women standing on the earth having a little conversation. Let's talk. Let's take out the book and let's see what the facts say. Your business and the people you work for that's paying your wages, that's gonna go and pay your mortgage and pay your rental and pay whatever, is gonna tell you differently. And they're gonna tell you to treat me differently because they're paying your wage to pay your fucking mortgage and you don't want to be broke. But if it comes to it and me and you were standing chatting on the road, in the park, kicking ball, bunning kebab, you know what I mean? And we're talking generally, like you, Nikki, you went outside and talked to the parking attendant, man. And you talked to him like a general brother. That's it. Let me have a little quick chat with you. Nothing, do you know what I mean? Let me just talk with you. And you told the guy, and the guy understood that, yeah, it was an acronym or whatever.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
Right. You understand.
We've got to wake people up. Because the thing about it, once they see it, as I said before, when Caroline went to the post office and talked to the post office man behind the counter about the application form for a business passport, the guy didn't even hear about one of them. So it's now for Caroline to say to the guy, well, can you go and question the passport office if they do have an application so you can get me one? Because then it makes him think, okay, he's missing out on some information. He doesn't want to look stupid the next time another customer comes in and asks that question. He can think, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Let me go and get you one. Do you see? So we're making them aware. Let's infiltrate them from the inside. We're on the outside. If we can make them ones aware on the inside, like Nikki did, Nikki talked to the parking attendant. Hopefully he will go back and question that. If he doesn't, that's not a problem. But Nikki stained his mind with every time he looks at a capital letter word now, he's looking at an acronym.
That's right.
And it's an illusion. If people knew this and we woke up to this and more people woke up to every day, say to someone, look, see that? That's an acronym. So why is your name on your bank card like that? It's an acronym. Can you explain that? Just a little general 5-minute talk with everybody and anybody, because you start waking them up to what they're actually looking at. So when they start getting letters coming through to them now, they're seeing their name in capital letters. They think, wow, my name's in an acronym. They question it now. This is why it's not moving. This is why it's not moving so quick, Because no disrespect, when other guys are going to the other groups, whoever's going to other groups, some people go and pay other people. I mean, you know that Bibi woman, and she was on. I mean, people are telling me that they're paying her $5,000 to learn information. Yeah. But it's the same information. What they're all spitting. But as soon as we come on and question them, well, do you know about the birth notification form? Do you know about the capital letter word? They want to run away and don't speak to me no more. Yeah. Because it's like us to slap them with the truth. And their lies is making them money.
But I think you've got a point. Language is a big thing. I think language is a very important thing. I think they've got us on. You know what I mean?
Of course it is. It's the most important thing.
I mean, even when I finished speaking to the parking attendant, he asked me to show me my car. And he said to me, I'm not going to put any more tickets on your car. And from that, I've not seen him put tickets on my car. But as I said to Carl a couple of weeks ago, I saw the CEO of the parking division. He came in a car, yeah? And he put the ticket on. I got in the car. I drove off. The ticket flew off in the wind. And that was it.
Put it this way, what I'm trying to get across, sorry, Nikki, sorry for cutting you there, because I'm going to shoot off in a second. What I'm trying to get across, right, is this. If you know that I know knowledge and I'm intelligent with knowledge, you ain't going to challenge me. This is, so when you're talking to other people, and like Nikki's done, and Ashley and some of the other guys, when they're talking to other people, they're cluing them up to this information, and it makes them feel weak and stupid because they don't know it. Nobody likes to feel like they're stupid. Nobody wants to feel they're stupid. I don't want to feel like I'm stupid sometimes. But when something's pointed out to me, realization leak. And that's the thing. We have to make people wake up the realization of something. Make them realize what's going on. Make them feel stupid. So when the man's coming to your door asking for the company name and you're saying, what, are you illiterate because you can't even read grammar? You make them feel stupid. Sorry. Mm. Can this meeting still go? Can this meeting still
Michael,
go on? Can this meeting still go on if I leave?
Yeah.
Okay, because I've got to leave.
Oh, because you're host. If you turn the host back to me.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I forgot. If you against the people's name.
Yeah.
Go up. You can say make host. So
okay. Yeah.
Do that to anyone that's on here.
Make host. Okay. Cool. Brilliant.
Will that affect the recording?
Excellent. Sorry. Listen. If anybody wants to talk, give me a call, please. If anybody wants to talk, okay. I've got to shoot though.
Nice one. That was a pretty good summation, actually. What Carl just did. It sort of girds your loins a bit, doesn't it? You know, fire in the belly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. It's because we've really got to stop and correct at every little juncture. People just gloss over it, and that's the scam, isn't it?
Yeah. And language is very much everything. Language is everything.
Absolutely.
That's the key. That's the key. They've done a pretty good job on us, but you know things are crumbling now. So at least now we're aware of what's actually going on, and so we can dig into their information and basically use it against them.
Yeah.
And we haven't really had that opportunity before because we all just I'm going to pay the bills and not realizing that we don't even exist and why are we paying bills. And they're charging us, and they're taking it out of our trust as well. I mean, Michael, is Michael still on? You still on, Michael?
Yeah.
Could you quickly just give us a brief explanation about what happened when you spoke to? Was it a traffic attendant I spoke to you about earlier on this week?
Yes, I got a parking ticket the other day. I just nipped into the shop for a few minutes, and I didn't even realise that it was a parking zone, but of course it was. And when I came out, I saw that I saw the ticket officer walking away, and I said, "Excuse me, but if you just put a ticket on that car," and he said, "Yes, I put a ticket on the vehicle," and I said, "No, it's a car, not a vehicle," and he laughed as if to say, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Definitions are very important," and of course, he didn't want to hear that. I had an interaction with him for a few minutes, but it didn't last long, to be honest. And then he just walked off. Now, I mean, he said to me, "But are you the driver?" I said, "No." He said, "Yes, you are, because you got the keys in your hand." And I said, "Yet again, it all goes down to definition, but you don't know what a driver is, do you? Obviously." And he said, "I've been doing this for 14 years. I know what I'm doing," he said. So, of course, he insisted that he was right, but I thought there's no point in me trying to argue with him. So, in the end, he just walked off, and that was it. I mean, I've still got the ticket. I haven't challenged it yet, but of course, I'm going to.
I mean, personally, I mean, I've had a couple of things come through that I'm going to deal with. I mean, I spent like last week writing about 4 different letters, and that was through Caroline. She gave me the heads up on what Ashley was writing, so I saw that, and I took some of the information, then I sent it to him, and he basically, you know, just changed a few things. I took it back, and then after I tweaked it and had all the relevant information, I sent that off as well. So it's going to be another 2 weeks at least before I hear anything.
Have you had an acknowledgement, Nick?
No, not yet. It's too early because I only sent it off like Friday, or not Friday, Monday, I think. So that's what I'm saying. They should have something for me in a couple of weeks' time. Let's just see what happens. I'll brief the group when I get the information.
What was that to do with, Nick?
Well, basically, I had some parking tickets, and I did exactly what Carl did, but because it's in my mum's name, she's opening the letters and she's coming to me, Nikki, you're going to have to fix this because we can't handle this, and you have to give back the car. And I was like, Mum, just chill, let me deal with this here, right? So, and one letter that I I replied to, and they came back with the an enforcement letter with more fees on top and everything else. So I looked up the company. I think I spoke to Leslie and Caroline during a week or 2 weeks or a week ago, trying to find the registration and the name and the director and whatnot. And this enforcement company couldn't find a director. I couldn't find any persons in it. It was dissolved, for one. And what else? They had the assets and the liabilities there for you. And the liabilities was like 6,000 plus. And the assets were minus 3.5 grand. So I was like, what? Wait a minute. So what I did is I put the company into, into LinkedIn, right? And I found that there's a barrage of people who have actually tried to write to these people, phone them up, and they weren't getting any kind of help whatsoever. So I don't know if they're employing these people just to pick up the phone and rubbish them, or the character assassinate them, or give them false information. But everybody that I could see on the review about this enforcement company basically said it was a waste of time. It was a Mickey Mouse company, that it didn't even exist.
But didn't you also, Nikki? Didn't you also say about the CEO also has 2 names, and one of them is as a limited company name. Well, so she's basically bought herself.
Yeah. Well, this particular person, this is what makes me laugh, right? These CEOs and directors, they just move them around different boroughs, because this woman, she's actually coming from the borough of Brent into Newham Council. So I had a conversation with Carl, and basically, you know, these people are only there for a specific amount of time, so that within that year or 2 years or 3 years that they've been serving, if people are writing letters to that person and she's responding or not responding, or it comes on top, she just leaves. They put someone else in place. That means you have to start writing to them now. You can no longer write to the person that was, you know, director or CEO or data processing officer. And they just keep doing that all the time, goes round and round and round in circles. So
you said she had 2 names, didn't you? You said she had
her name was, she had one with the middle name and one without. So her name is Althea. That was one name with one number, and then she had Althea with a different a company number. But she didn't have it. She didn't have it as a LLC or PLC or LTD. It was just her name. That was it.
So it looks like she's got different things going on to evade.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But wouldn't that be sole trader, Nikki? If it's not got a limit, would it not be that she's registered as sole trader?
Oh yeah.
Even when I had a company, I had a water company, and I registered that, and it was that I didn't put limited or anything, or PLC or LLC or anything. I registered it as a sole trader, but my certificate was weird. It came out as limited.
Really?
So, yeah. I'd have to dig it up and see if I can find that and show you guys.
That's weird, isn't it? I don't know how they get away with then just having the name without the limited. Because you see politicians with Mr. So-and-so with no limited on the end. So how are they doing that?
Think about it, Leslie. It's just like the representative of the birth certificate. It's just like, for instance, us coming forward, Miss Leslie, and then your surname, and you're the representative coming forward as Leslie. Or
so they're doing something different to registering themselves as a company, then, aren't they?
Well, they're just registering a corporation. Let's go back to what Carl was saying, anagrams and all that. If you look at that content, they're just using it in a different format to hide the real. Let's hide the liability, so it doesn't. So you focus on the Mr. when really it's the individual you want to go for. Is that making sense?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I don't get how they get it registered on Companies House without a limited stuck on the end of it.
Well, they ask you when you form a company. In the formation of a company, they ask you how you want to set it up. Like that's why Nikki, you was able to set it up as a limited, because they actually ask you. So it would be a sole trader that you'd have to put down. And if it's sole trader, that can still be a limited company, though, can't it? But I think I think that can still be a limited company, even though it's a sole trader.
Nick, going back to your one, buddy. Obviously, you've sent off your DSAR. I totally forgot about this. You could actually not write another letter, but there's this thing where you can ask for the VAT invoice.
Yeah.
And because that's something that you essentially that you want to ask them as well, because essentially without their VAT invoice for the alleged for the parking fine, you're asking for that VAT invoice that pertains to that specifically fine. So if they can't bring that forward, mate, then they can't claim an interest within you to claim those funds.
Right. I'll have to check that
even though you're doing a DSAR, buddy, you're covering yourself legally through the legals on data protection, right? Because you're asking certain questions. But you could also now go forward and write, let's say, because it's the council, you would need to write to the head of legals, and then you would need to write to the data protection officer, because these are the two people that you would go essentially bring.
Yeah, I've written to the data protection officer, because what it is one letter had
Go on, sorry.
One letter had the director of services. So I wrote a letter to that person because that person was actually on the letter. And then the other letter that came was about the same thing, had the same a reference number, but there was no one to really write to. Even at the bottom, there wasn't really a name, and there was no registered number. So I wrote to the processing. I've looked it up and found the data processing guy. So I wrote to him, and I found the director of that company as well, and I wrote to him. So it's plus the enforcement company. So it's 4 letters, right? So my guess is what happens is because there was no one really that I could write to with the enforcement company, they're just going to pass that back to Walthamstow or whoever it is you are writing to. Yeah. And then all of that stuff is going to go to their legal team or whatever. And they're going to see this thing and think, oh, wow, how do I, you know what I mean? So they might just, ignore it and say, oh, this has got to be paid, whatnot. And I'll just send that letters. And if they do send someone around, I'll do exactly the same as what Carl's done. Who are you looking for? Yeah. Because if you're looking for somebody doesn't exist on pen and paper, then it doesn't exist. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Know thyself, seek and ye shall find. I tell you this now, it's in no African mind.
Searching diamonds, gold, silver, platinum. Them the kind of things, illusions you fathom. Yeah, they call it magic. Right, you're out, it's tragic. I know. Clever what they done, fantastic. Come against me now, you end up in a straight jacket. I'll prove you illiterate. One question, the language. Now who's the pickle in the sandwich? This kind of knowledge that you're hearing will damage you, destroy you. Don't worry, I'll employ you, get you back on track, so you can defend your own attack. Gold chain round your neck, nothing to me. Diamonds in your teeth, nothing to me. You could be rolling 22s, nothing to me. Down with the truth, now that's something to me. Gold chain round your neck, nothing to me. Diamonds in your teeth, nothing to me. You could be rolling 22s, nothing to me. Down with the truth, now that's something to me. Blah, 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 blah.